My things too.
We're not sponsored by anybody. No free advertising.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Wait for the masses to trickle in here. How does David Pakman have 50,000 viewers? This is fraud. This doesn't make sense to me.
Let's steal some.
We'll wait for the masses to trickle in here. Status Coup. Election night 3. Lot going on. I'd love to be a fly on the White House wall right now.
Absolutely.
As the walls finally cave in. They're caving in finally. So everybody leave David Pakman, come to us.
Yeah, we're way better. By the way, when I saw the headline you put in, Trump going mad, as reality show news finale, I should say, like, Trump and Jen going mad.
Oh, yes.
I'm losing my mind.
I thought that headline was pretty good.
It is good.
New Year's finale.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's good. A good play on words.
I agree. We just passed 94,000 subscribers. So let's be part of the community, and let's get to 95,000, lickety split. So keep pressing that like button, keep sharing this live stream. We'll wait for some more folks to get in here. I will say, I've never really engaged in this, the walls are closing in on Donald Trump, because, that's been said by Rachel Maddow so many times, and CNN, from impeachment to the taxes to everything. But I really believe right now the walls are caving in, and he's sitting there in fetal position, eating cheeseburgers, yelling at CNN, and it's quite exciting to think about that. So, and if you notice, we have a brand new thumbnail, which I think says it all. Yeah, I'll show it now and a couple times. So, this is the White House right now. You have the Donald in front of the Titanic, Mikey right behind him, Rudy's in the middle. You got Kayleigh McEnany, Lindsey Graham, Don Jr. waiting in the wings, because Don wants to pick up those 69 million Trump voters and run again. Everyone's saying Tucker Carlson, but I think it's going to be Don Jr.
It's not. I told Jordan it's not going to be Don Jr. because when Ivana and Donald Trump were going through their divorce, like, Don Jr. was a bargaining chip, and Trump Sr. was like, no, I don't even care. So he doesn't like Junior. He doesn't
Right,
care.
but you're not getting
He's not going to be like...
I know he doesn't like him, but Trump is going to want to maintain power in any capacity. So the best way to do that is through his name remaining.
But Junior's like a little weenie. Like, nobody's going to vote for him. He doesn't have any charisma. He's just...
Well, who are we kidding? It might just be Trump again. He says he might run in 4 years. Anyway, 150 people watching. Please smash that like button. The more people that press the like button, the more people that we'll see. We really don't know how this is going to go. We've been here in Philadelphia now this is our second day. The entire election can be called within the next hour or two. We don't know. Obviously, if Biden, once it's declared for Biden in Pennsylvania, which it seems like it's going to be, he wins the presidency. Biden is currently scheduled to speak, I think, at 8 o'clock Eastern. Obviously, they are hoping that they're going to be speaking after the election is called. But we wanted to come live again because, boy, if you saw some wacky shit yesterday when I had some riveting discussions with Trump supporters, you ain't seen nothing yet. Trump himself is reportedly off the walls in the White House. This is from, I don't really like him, but this is from CNN's Jim Acosta, tweeted out, Trump advisor said that Rudy Giuliani, and others in the inner circle are enabling the president as he refuses to grasp the reality that the White House is slipping away. Quote, people are enabling him, advisors said, calling the situation in the White House right now chaos.
Yikes.
Oh, I love it. Chaos in the White House. Meanwhile, Kamala's giving Biden his afternoon nap before he goes on to speak tonight, possibly as the president-elect. So, yeah, maybe you could start with where things stand. RNC chair Ronna McDaniel is apparently on this Trump Titanic and pushing this fraud everywhere. So she gave a press conference in Michigan.
Yeah, the right wing has lost their minds. Well, more than usual.
Well, yeah,
first,
what did they have to
I'll
say?
address a few comments. So, Stephen, TYT called it hours ago. We called it first, but YouTube yelled at us and slapped a warning on our live
Isn't that
stream,
interesting?
and we had to restart. So,
Isn't that interesting that we got censored by YouTube for calling the election, but TYT didn't?
Yeah.
Do they have some deal with YouTube? Anyway, go ahead. 300 people watching, by the way. Smash that like button, and we still need your super chats. Let's get this audience through the roof. We might be live as the election is called, so officially called. So, yeah.
Carl, is Jen smiling because she's happy or because she's having a breakdown? It's for sure the breakdown. Wow, there was something else. Helicopter is indeed still swirling around and around. Someone else asked why, I think it was Lisa, maybe? I don't see the, so Lisa, we'll probably address this again as more people start to filter in. We are not outside on location for safety reasons, to be very, very honest. So late last night, there was a situation where a group, we don't have many details, but a group arrived in a Hummer with weapons, and this was a QAnon believing group that arrived with apparent plans to, we can only guess, shoot up because there were guns found. The convention center where they are counting votes in Philadelphia. And that's exactly where we were reporting from yesterday. And just a short time ago, there was a bomb threat called in, 2 separate calls to the area that is attached to the convention center, the Philadelphia Inquirer, which is adjacent to the mall, which was the structure that the bomb threats were called on, had to be evacuated. So we're being safe right now, and that's all there is to it. So we are in Philadelphia.
I will say that there's chatter all over the country right now with militia groups, conspiracy groups, openly saying they're going to go to war and commit violence if this is called for Biden. So, yeah, we're being safe.
And also, there are pictures going around as well where people are standing in line to get their gun permits. There's a lot of people putting out messages where they're calling each other, like literal calls to arms. I'm signed up for Donald Trump's campaign text message list, and it's constant stuff like this, which is really, really riling up people. Let's see here. The left will try to steal this election. I'm calling on you to step up and fight back. Protect the integrity of this election. We must protect this election. They're calling it the Election Defense Fund. We cannot let the left go unchecked. Trump needs you to stand up and like they use the term fight all the time, defense all the time, talking about the left undermining
and that's
the structure of the country.
That's the Trump campaign's text?
Mm-hmm. So on and on and on, using the terms fight. I believe it was Junior who used the term fight to the death. So this is the official campaign. Then you have the fringe figures. So the ones who aren't afraid to take it that step further. Then you have the right-wing militias. Then you have the white supremacists. And then you have all of these groups who operate on their own, the ones who work together, the ones who are underground, the ones who are more vocal. So there are a lot of safety issues right now, a lot. And the fact that it's coming from the top And the fact that like the QAnon group, I said this on the stream earlier, the QAnon people literally believe that they're fighting against Democrats, and they don't just think that Democrats have different ideology and policies than they do. They think that Democrats are a satanic cult that are full of pedophiles, and they also eat babies and have satanic rituals and are just pure evil. So they believe that Democrats are stealing the election. They believe by shooting up a place of people counting ballots that are likely to be Democrat votes, that they are helping to save the country. So these people are dangerous, and here we are reporting safely. So.
And you can't hear it, but literally, I think maybe for an hour the helicopter went away. But basically, since like 3 in the morning, there's been a helicopter buzzing around because there was, like Jen said, a attempted some type of violent act that the police thwarted. It was somebody who drove up from Virginia. They apparently found guns. He was a QAnon enthusiast that was threatening to basically shoot up the convention center where they're counting ballots. You also had yesterday, when I was interviewing Trump supporters out there, I didn't know it at the time, but one of the people I interviewed was basically part of a white militia group, the guy with the shield, the shield mask.
It's Jovi Val. You guys are may be familiar with him. A lot of people know of Jovi. I interviewed him last year at a Proud Boys event. So Jovi, he's, you know.
Jovi's my homie.
Jovi's Jovi.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
To the incident that happened this morning.
People can't hear you.
Well, I'll tell you guys. At the presser, they said that it wasn't just one person that they caught. It was like a family.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a family.
Okay.
So they basically caught a family. The Philadelphia mayor, I guess, was talking about it.
The DA.
The district attorney was talking about the plot. But the bottom line is, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania right now is ground zero for this right-wing lunatic conspiracy that across the country, the election's been stolen. And the most crazy thing about this, and you know, we're going to talk about the RNC chairwoman. They're saying that the presidential election was stolen, but in the same states that they're saying the election was stolen, meaning it was stolen against Trump for Biden, Republicans won Senate seats, Republican won House seats. So I guess it was all the votes are valid down ballot if it's good for Republicans, but for the presidential contest, that's stolen, which makes 0 sense. Because you're basically saying ballots, they might be wanting ballots tossed that actually benefited Republicans down ballot. By the way, we got 800 viewers watching, so remember to smash that like button. It's the thumbs up button right under the video, and share this live stream and subscribe to this channel. You want to go through some of the cuckoo crazy?
Yeah, definitely. Making sure I have all of the super chats. The super chats are already pouring in. You guys are so amazing. We have 800 people watching already. So if you're just joining us, thank you. And please smash the like button, because the way YouTube works is they want to see that people are interested in a live stream. So if you can just take a second and smash the like button, it's the thumbs up button right underneath this video. And the more people who smash the like button, the more people YouTube will show this video to. And also, if you're new, please subscribe to this video, hit the bell for notifications. Squirrel Lips, $2.99 in the super chat. Thank you so much, Squirrel Lips. AB, $2.99 in the super chat. The Secretary of Defense resigning. Was a coup ordered? Thoughts? I don't know. We talked about this yesterday, and then it was kind of walked back, and then it was like out again. So I don't know what's happening. And then there's another rumor that someone else is potentially resigning or being kicked out. So I don't know. There's a lot of news and noise right now, so unsure. No fair at $2 in the super chat. So happy you guys have been live so much. Love ya. Yeah, it's been hard work with very little sleep, but it's good. We feel good about the reporting we've done for sure. We've gotten, Jordan's done outstanding interviews, and we've done a lot of important coverage, I think. So thank you very much. Chuck Bach, $4.99 in the super chat. Great work. Thank you so much. Alyssa Casanova, $5 in the super chat. You two are the best. Sending love from Arizona. Thank you guys. Keep the super chats coming. It really helps us a lot as we are completely independent, viewer funded.
And we should tell you that right now in Pennsylvania, Biden's lead is basically 14,000 votes. Biden leads in Pennsylvania. So honestly, not an expert on Pennsylvania, county by county, but it's almost impossible for Trump to catch up to Biden because the majority of the ballots left to be counted are in Allegheny County, which is right outside, which is Pittsburgh, very Democratic. Biden has been beating Trump in Allegheny County by a lot, and the other ballots are here where Biden has been crushing Trump. Over 80% Biden has been getting in Philadelphia. So it's basically near impossible for Trump to catch Biden. We've seen in Georgia, Biden's lead has grown to about 4,000. That's definitely going to be a recount in Georgia, but Biden is winning by 4,000. Arizona, Biden's lead has shrank as more votes have come in. But honestly, it doesn't even matter. As long as Biden wins Pennsylvania, he could lose Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. So all Biden needs is Pennsylvania. And for Trump, because he is losing Georgia, Trump has no pathway. Even if Trump won Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia, and North Carolina, he could only get to 269 electoral college votes. You need 270. So that's why Trump's so mad.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So can we tell people the top 10 list of crazy Republican things going on?
Yeah, so I didn't know, do you want to show part of Rana's
Yeah, why
speech?
not?
Okay, so I sent it to you in your text. This is her list of grievances in Michigan.
So this is Ronna McDaniel. She's the RNC chair, Mitt Romney's niece.
I didn't know that.
So let's hear the delusions going on in the Republican Party right now on the grand theft of the presidency of Donald Trump.
Just last night in Oakland County, we found 2,000 ballots that had been given to Democrats that were Republican ballots due to a clerical error, and this took place in Rochester Hills. In Wayne County, Republican poll watchers were denied their legal right to monitor the election and purposely kept in the dark, both literally and figuratively, with poll workers blocking windows and padlocking doors. There are hundreds of reports of our poll watchers being intimidated and unable to do their job. There was a major software issue in Antrim County that we have concerns could have caused problems in other counties as well. This issue was brought to our attention by Congressman Bergman's office when they noticed the results being drastically different from what they expected and what they had received from that county in past elections. When they inquired with the clerk, they were told it was a software issue and it was corrected. But now we know that 47 counties use that same software. At the TCF Center in Wayne County, we have received over 100 incident reports of irregularities. This is a massive mail ballot counting center, and we need time to go through these reports and investigate them. Here's an example of just one of them. On November 3rd and 4th, a whistleblower was assigned to work on problem ballots in the TCF Center Adjudication Center. This is not a Republican poll worker. This is an actual election worker. A bundle of ballots with no receive date were brought to the whistleblower. The ballots should not have been immediately counted because there was no evidence. The ballots were received by the state-mandated deadline of November 3rd. On the morning of November 4th, whistleblower was instructed by their supervisor to take the ballots with no dates, enter them into the electronic record, and place either November 2nd or November 3rd as the date received. This is illegal. This whistleblower was uncomfortable entering the dates on the ballots with no evidence. They were received on either of those dates. Election workers became angry at the whistleblower and blocked this individual from the process.
The whistleblower!
According to the whistleblower, all election workers were given this same guidance. Reportedly, one of the individuals was a contractor, a city contractor, and former director of elections, Chris Thomas. These allegations have been referred to the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Michigan. We have heard other instances of election workers verbally accosting our poll watchers and refusing to let us challenge questionable ballots. Election workers were wearing Biden shirts and applauding when our poll watchers were removed from the counting facility. Of the few ballots that Democrat election workers did allow us to challenge, our observers say those ballots were then moved back into the...
So I think you get the point. Now, I've been covering a lot of elections, and frankly, I've covered actual fraud perpetrated against Bernie Sanders and progressives. So, to be fair, could there be a county in Michigan where there was an election machine and there was a snafu with the election machine and it gave X amount of votes that went to Trump over to Biden? Yeah, it could. There could be that. It sounds like, you know more than I, they found that there was a glitch and they switched those votes back to Trump. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, so that seems like a legitimate grievance that this particular county, Antrim County in Michigan, the software, let me see if I can find that specific number. It was significant. They have a real right to be upset about this. 1 second, I'm trying to see if I can find this number. Looks like I'm not going to be able to find it quickly. It doesn't matter. So this is a county that was expected to go GOP. It was expected to go for Trump. So it was strange when it went for Biden by a significant amount. So they found this glitch in the software, and when they found it and corrected it, it went for Trump by a significant amount. And obviously that's cause for alarm. And this software is being used in 47 other counties. I think it is very, very reasonable for those counties to be scrutinized and double or triple checked. That's extremely reasonable. So where this becomes a boy who cried wolf situation is because they're crying wolf constantly. They're screaming about everything. They're saying everything's fraudulent. So while this Antrim County, Michigan situation seems legit, they're saying everything's fraudulent. They're saying people are like dragging like Santa sacks full of ballots, and like Democratic ballots are just magically appearing all over the place. They're saying like all these dead people are voting, and like they're just saying whatever. So maybe things are weird. Like maybe one person voted twice. Like maybe one person did vote for their dead dad or something. Like, okay, that's not okay. If there is something wrong, call it out. I'm not gonna praise fraud if a Democrat committed it or if a Republican committed it. Wrong is wrong. Fix it. If something is wrong, call it out. Let's fix it. But you can't just go around and come out like Donald Trump did on the night of the election and say that there's fraud and say that you've won and say that Democrats are cheating, because that's not true. Like that's just, you can't do that.
Well, first of all, he's losing in Michigan, which has already been declared for Biden by about 150,000 votes. So even if there was a glitch in one county, it certainly wasn't a glitch of 150,000 votes. Secondly, yeah, if there was a glitch with a certain software, then you would want to check the other counties. But there's a difference between a glitch in software, and I know that there's a lot of progressives, and I including, who are suspicious of election software and know they're easily hackable, that it's fairly easy actually to electronically, in a sinister way, change vote counts. This does not get a lot of attention in the corporate media. Lee Camp has done a lot on this. So knowing all that, there's a difference between intentional fraud and something going wrong and it being corrected. In this case that they're ranting and raving about, in Michigan, it seems like it was corrected. So sure, look at the 47 other counties. The problem is Trump and the Republicans are taking one or two examples of something that, yeah, you should look at, and then elevating it to a grand larceny conspiracy in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in Arizona, in Nevada, in Wisconsin. That's absurd. And I double dare promise you, and got 1,000 people watching, please keep smashing that like button, subscribe, share. If the roles were reversed, let's just say for some reason the roles were reversed, it was the Democrats who all voted on election day, and it was Republicans that were sending in mail-in ballots. So on election day, Biden had a pretty big lead because all those ballots were cast early. This is hypothetical. And it was reversed. And then as the days went on, Biden's lead was dramatically shrinking, and Trump started taking the lead because in this scenario, Trump voters did the majority of the mail-in ballots. Do you really think the Republicans would be screaming, "Stop the count"? Do you really think by the way, the Democrats would be challenging some of them because they'd want the count stopped.
Yeah.
So they're all hypocrites. They're all corrupt. We're not cheerleaders for Joe Biden. But in this case, you got Ronna McDaniel going out there ranting and raving about one example. They verbally accosted Trump observers. This is how the election's stolen, because you're saying election workers verbally yelled at Trump observers. They're talking about this theme of they can't observe the count. They're not being allowed to observe the count. Is this happening everywhere? There's just a grand cabal, even in Republican states, by the way. They're saying this is happening in Arizona, a Republican state. They're saying it's happening in Nevada. They're saying it's happening in Georgia, a Republican state. It just defies logic. And Don Jr. has tweeted things yelling that more Republicans aren't going out in front. They're basically keeping their little hit list, like, frankly, the Clintons used to do. The Clintons had a hit list of political enemies who wouldn't do their bidding. And basically, Don Jr.
Hashtag Arkansas. Just kidding.
Don Jr., Trump, and others in the family are actively tweeting and ranting that more Republicans aren't going on TV with this conspiracy, and they're keeping a list, and they'll be checking it twice if you didn't do it. Lindsey Graham, who's been attached at Trump's, he's out there saying that what did he say? Illegal immigrants, he said, were illegally voting in Nevada. His words. Louis Gohmert, I think, flew up here. That whack-a-mole flew up here ranting and raving that things are being stolen. Obviously, we showed you Corey Lewandowski yesterday when we covered this, screaming. What did Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary, tweet?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me find Kayleigh's. So this actually is the same thing that we were just talking about. This software glitch in Antrim. So Kayleigh tweeting this it's okay, but the way that she's tweeting it is meant to cause panic. In all caps, she's tweeting 6,000 Republican ballots were counted as Democrat in Antrim County, Michigan, due to a computer glitch, exclamation point. She's putting red exclamation points and really kind of making it this dramatic thing, which, don't get me wrong, this is supposed to be, or at least pretend to be, a democracy. We're a long way away from a democracy in reality here in America, but we are supposed to have the ability to cast a vote. So this is not good. It is inexcusable that this software could cause such a glitch. It's not okay. But Kayleigh is kind of hopping on this train to cause a panic, not in good faith, not in defense of democracy. She's doing it for PR and propaganda purposes, as part of the Trump team's attempt to paint this entire election as fraudulent, as stolen by the Democrats, which you could see their playbook before the election. We knew this was coming. and I mentioned this in the previous stream, Bernie Sanders laid out this playbook almost word by word. He did so on Jimmy Fallon last month. So we saw that this was coming, and we know that they are going to use every single angle they can to convince Donald Trump's cult followers that the Democrats have stolen this election and that it is fraudulent and that Donald Trump is the true winner and the Democrats have completed a coup. So, yeah, Kaylee has tweeted that. The Trump War Room Twitter account has retweeted that, which is the Trump campaign's kind of, campaign arm Twitter there. So the Federalist, Breitbart, they've all hopped on this story and others. They have not just that story, but they have the Oakland County GOP ballots that were given to Democrats. They have the poll watchers that were blocked from being allowed to watch, which isn't good. If the poll watchers were indeed supposed to be able to watch from a distance where they could actually see what was going on, it's not okay if they were blocked. It's not okay, and I don't know enough about the situation to make a true judgment but from the little bit that I did see about what happened in Detroit, where they were putting up cardboard in the windows and things like that. That's not okay if those people were indeed supposed to be able to observe the ballot counting process. So things like that, not okay. But in other instances, there are efforts to muddy the waters. Someone who has a large following like a James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, which I have seen a couple people in the comments mention, they are framing things or editing things in a particular way to make you think that something has happened that hasn't really happened. And that's something that James O'Keefe is particularly good at. So be really careful about, and I know you guys are good at this, but there's a true confirmation bias, especially with an election. So if you put yourself in the mindset of a Trump supporter who really does want Donald Trump to win, and you already think a certain way, and you have, Biden who actually has won, but you still have that hope that Donald Trump is the true winner. And then you have someone like James O'Keefe saying, well, actually they're cheating. And then you have Jack Posobiec saying, actually they're cheating. Then you have Cernovich saying, actually they're cheating. Kayleigh McEnany, actually they're cheating. Then you have Giuliani. Then you have Ronna McDaniel. Then you have everybody who maybe you look up to, Alex Jones, like whoever your figure is that you look up to. You have all these people feeding into your confirmation bias, and you believe it more and more and more. And then there's no way that your mind can be changed. And it's just then the evil Democrats that have stolen this from you. So all of these things go hand in hand. Other stories that the right wing is really running with. Election workers wearing Biden shirts, poll watchers verbally accosted, like these, whatever. Like Ronna McDaniel really juiced up this press conference of hers. So I actually earlier today went on Parler, which you may or may not know is the right-wing alternative to Twitter. A lot of right-wing figures have fled Twitter, whether they've been banned or whether they're just performatively tired of Twitter or whatever, they've gone to Parler. So I felt sick to my stomach actually going through Parler today. It was just like an alternative universe, but for the ones who I know are just grifters and who are purposely feeding into like the QAnon mindset or the Democrats are evil mindset. It's just, it's disturbing and gross, and they're truly subverting what little is left of democracy, or like the semblance of democracy that we have. So I don't know. There's even a Stop the Steal, and I really want to know who is funding this and like who set this site up. So you've probably seen like the hashtag, if you're on social media at all, hashtag Stop the Steal, and that's what they're chanting at these rallies. And so tomorrow, there at various capitals across the country, there are Stop the Steal rallies, and those are at noon. Obviously, it's going to be the right wing, so they're saying the Democrats have stolen this election or are stealing this election, but someone or some group has set up the stopthesteal.us site, and so they list contested states, and they're keeping up with their legal status. So interestingly, and I just refreshed it to see any updates. So they have Arizona listed as counting, and as kind of like the leader of Arizona is Charlie Kirk. Pennsylvania, they have listed as counting, and they have Jack Posobiec and Scott Pressler as like the contacts for that. Then for Georgia, they have listed Georgia as called for Biden. And I'm very interested in why they listed Georgia as called for Biden. And I think that it is purposeful, like for a propagandistic reason. I don't know. So they have Kylie Kremer, CJ Pearson, Daniel Bostic, and Amy Kremer listed as the people for that. They also have Nevada, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So all of the states that you would expect. And then all of the locations that you'd expect listed as well. They're building an email list off of this. So they're really set up and ready to go to build off of this either way, whether they're successful. The Trump team, of course, has these legal challenges going on. We also have, as Jordan was mentioning earlier, the team around Trump who actually is trying to prepare him for the fact that he didn't win. So there's a lot of factions, a lot of grifters, a lot of lies, and a heck of a lot of propaganda. So we have no idea what's going to happen with Trump world, but Biden won. So I don't know, right wing.
Oh, I'm getting hit on Twitter hard for a tweet I put.
Oh no.
Woo-hoo! By the way,
What did
smash
you
that
do?
smash that like button, share this live stream, subscribe, all of those good things. I said, because I think this is being lost, and if you guys don't know, on the eve of the election, it got no coverage, of course. This is why they put it out on the eve of the election. It came out that Mueller found no evidence against Julian Assange.
Yes.
That Julian Assange worked with Russia, that Julian Assange was some secret cutout of Russia in terms of Hillary Clinton and the Podesta emails. So I tweeted, if progressives want to, quote, move Biden left, which we've already said is not going to happen, let's not live in a fairy tale, the first demand should be dropping the extradition attempt on Julian Assange, which President Obama and therefore Vice President Biden, they came to the conclusion that there was no constitutional justification, no actual legal grounds to prosecute or try and extradite Julian Assange. So Biden, that could be a major inroad to the left, can drop the extradition charges and call for the UK to release him. But Twitter's freaking out that that's the first demand during a pandemic, this and that. So I'm cleaning it up. I don't literally mean that's the first priority, but it should be one of the top priorities because we're living in a post-factual world. Mm-hmm. And if the Democratic Party wants to pretend that Trump is the fascist and he's the only fascist, that's fine. But what they're doing what Biden would be doing by allowing Julian Assange's extradition to continue to go through is tacitly rubber stamping it and approving of political persecution against the whistleblower and journalist because he exposed things that the oligarchy doesn't like, in my view.
Yeah, makes sense. So there's a couple of comments that I want to address, and then there are some super chats, and keep those amazing super chats coming. If you are just arriving here, welcome. We are Status Coup. We're an independent startup. We are beholden to no one except but the viewer. We report in field. We are an investigative outlet. So we work hard, and we are here for you. We give the microphone back to the people. So smash the like button and share this stream if you can. Subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. So one comment was from John Wayne. So hello, John. You didn't hear about the votes showing up at 3:30 a.m. So to that, John, I don't know what your point is. What votes are you talking about? First of all. Second of all, sometimes in certain instances in certain locations or whatever, like they're counting all night. They're working hard around the clock. In other instances, they count, and then depending on the county or the location or state or whatever, again, I don't know where you're talking about, they have them. They have the counts that they've done all day, and then they have to upload them for the state to have, like for the whole place to have, and then they send them for everybody to have. So there's a whole process. Like it's not. I think people don't really understand the entire process. So it might sound like, oh, all of a sudden, 100,000 votes show up or whatever. Like, oh, how shady. No, it's just part of the process. It's not like 1, 2 votes show, 3, 4, 5. Like it's not like it doesn't happen like that. Okay, so I hope that addresses that. Victor, you mentioned Shadow Inc. I just want to make very, very clear, just because we talk about the fact that Trump and his crew that surround him are falsely complaining about voter fraud and election fraud and all of that, that doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about the shady stuff the DNC does and the Democratic Party does. The Shadow app, insane. We reported on it then, we really, really reported on it. We're not going to let the Democratic Party go.
Can I go on a rant?
Do it.
Can I go on a fucking rant? Because I fucking had enough.
Classes are up.
I have fucking had enough, progressives. Get your head out of your fucking ass, these people. I have had enough of these snowflakes. There is a word in the English dictionary, okay? Look it up. It's called nuance.
Yes.
There's also a phrase that you could walk and chew gum at the same time. Out of all of the outlets on the YouTube, or shall I say FuTube, we covered Donald Trump and now cover Donald Trump basically, barely at all. Frankly, to our economic disinterest.
Yeah.
We would be doing a lot better as individuals and as a company if we did 50 fucking videos on Donald Trump a week. Mm-hmm. If all we did was Donald Trump and Russia and Stormy Daniels and the bullshit that everyone else does, frankly, including outlets like the Young Turks. We did not do that. That's actually how originally I was able to build a following at the Young Turks, by doing very little Trump. It's not because we don't think the crazy shit he does is important. We didn't feel, and I don't feel, what am I adding if I'm just doing what everyone else is doing? So the few times we do cover Trump, including when he's literally inciting a new civil war by creating a conspiracy that the election has been stolen, when he's literally with his supporters following Biden campaign buses, swarming them like predators, to the point where they have to call the police because these Trump caravans are circling them, when he's literally cheering that on, when his campaign is sending out text messages and emails to fight to a lot of followers that he knows is deranged. Mm-hmm. And we have the audacity to cover such things. I see messages, oh, Jordan, you guys are becoming MSNBC. Oh, Jordan, you guys are, you're ignoring the DNC corruption. Should I talk about the DNC corruption while the incumbent president of the United States is trying to create a new civil war? I don't think I'm being dramatic. Yeah. There was literally a thwarted potential terror attack a couple blocks away from us last night. Somebody came up from Virginia, a family, and they found guns and the intention to shoot up the convention center where they're counting the ballots. Should I talk about Debbie Wasserman Schultz instead of that? Like, are you crazy? The people saying these things. By the way, we just posted, like, 2 hours ago, a video of me challenging a sycophant Democrat who literally, her brain... Her brain discombobulated when I said, okay, I get it. Characters on the ballot, Trump's terrible, but what will Biden do specifically on the economy? She didn't have an answer, so I pressed again, and it was like, you know, when the computer hard drive is discombobulating. So what are you talking about? Should we just sit here and pretend that the most important issue out there right now is DNC corruption rather than the incumbent president throwing a fucking conspiratorial lunatic thing? I just don't understand. And honestly, I got to tell you the truth. I'm going to keep it real. There are people on YouTube that are stoking this kind of batshit thinking among some progressives. There are people on YouTube that have created this mentality that you're a sellout if you ever talk about anything other than Democratic Party corruption. You're a sellout if you dare even make it seem like in certain cases a Republican could be worse. Well, I got news for you. You might not like it. Donald Trump is worse. That's why I voted for Biden. Not because I like Biden, but because Trump's a psychopath. That's why I voted for Biden. I think Biden is a unique threat in different ways, but he's not calling for an armed revolution because he's losing the election. That's the difference. So for anyone that gets triggered because we haven't talked about the Democratic Party for 20 minutes, go fuck yourself. I know that's not a good thing to say, but I'm tired of it. Because this mindset is juvenile. This mindset is childish. This mindset is, if you're not as fire-breathing as I am, you're a sellout. Well, guess what? We just did a live stream 3 hours ago where I ranted and raved against Morning Joe, Amika and Mrs. Joe, Joe and Mrs. Joe, and basically attacked the Democratic Party for losing House seats, for losing Senate seats, and blaming socialism because they lost, because of their milquetoast Republican light corporatism. So, you want to know something? I ain't going to apologize for covering what Trump is doing. It doesn't mean that we're ignoring Democratic Party corruption. And if you want to go to a channel that only, at all times, 100% of the time, only covers Democratic Party corruption, there are channels out there for you. But we're not going to do that. We have to cover the sitting president basically denying the election results, creating a cockamamie fakakta conspiracy that is already leading to violence. There was also a bomb threat called in right behind us. Did I go too far?
No, the audience is loving it, and I think it was perfect.
And become a goddamn member to Status Coup. Sign up, statuscoup.com/join. Might I add, I'm taking the glasses back off.
Yes.
Have you seen the Young Turks, The Intercept, Democracy Now? I love most of them. Most of them. Any other outlets? In Iowa, in New Hampshire, in Nevada, in South Carolina, on Super Tuesday in California, in Michigan, in South Bend, Indiana, before the primaries to expose Little Petey. You seen all these outlets in Flint 16 times, 7 times? Have you seen all these outlets working 7 days a week from the ground up, building an independent outlet with no bankers funding us? Fossil fuckers, big pharma, big real estate, Silicon Valley, military-industrial complex? I just get so outraged because some people, I get the trolls and Jordan, don't take them seriously, but this is why the progressive movement will always be a minority and will never seize power. Because you have a lot of people who consider themselves progressive who cannot tolerate whatsoever any differing point of view. If you are somebody who I did more than hold my nose. I actually think I was 4 or 5 glasses of whiskey in when I signed my mail-in ballot for Joe Biden. Okay? But for people who think that that makes one a sellout, or Jordan, you don't get it, Biden's worse than Trump. They're all bad. But when you're stuck in this situation, if your whole neighborhood is in fire, if your whole neighborhood is literally on fire, right? Do you first focus on what caused the fire? Or do you focus on putting out the goddamn fire? We're on fire right now. Yesterday was 120,000 cases of coronavirus, a record. Okay? I already got coronavirus, so this is personal to me. Why do you think we have 120,000 cases? Is it all Donald Trump's fault? No. Is a lot of it his fault? Yes. We could tell you because we've seen his lunatic super spreader rallies, which is like a suicidal death cult. Okay? You have tens of millions of people unemployed. Is it all Donald Trump's fault? No, but he's the president. We have police being murdered and executed, not police, black men being murdered and executed pretty much every other day, and nothing's being done about it. Is it all Donald Trump's fault? No, it happened under Obama too. But the difference is Donald Trump is stoking it because he is Mr. Blue Lives Matter. So, do I think Joe Biden could be moved left? Absolutely not. That's a fool's fantasy wish, and the outlets sending out fundraising emails to you, donate, we're going to be the resistance against Joe Biden, are fucking grifters, and they're full of shit. We're not moving Joe Biden left. If we're lucky, we'll be able to get him to work more than 4 hours a day because he's going to be napping half the time, and Kamala Harris is going to be the shadow president. I'm just being real. If we're lucky, we'll stop him from moving further right. I already told you how we're going to get change in this country. It's not through moving Joe Biden left. It's through changing the media structure and actually putting pressure economically on the donors. You threaten the donors' wealth, you will get the politicians to bend to our will because the donors dictate what the politicians do. But I got news for you. I don't have any more tolerance for this shit. If progressives are so simple-minded and narrow-minded that they truly believe talking about anything else other than Democratic Party corruption, focusing on Trump or Rudy or Kaylee or Proud Boys or QAnon or she knows a lot more of them. Name your conspiracy, white supremacy militia group. Focusing on that somehow makes you less of a progressive or a sellout, then you need to take a little nap because you're losing perspective.
Yes.
I digress.
Yes, and that's the thing too. I spent a lot of time. That was, a really good.
Colin, clip that out for the record book.
Clip it out. I actually was studying QAnon for a while before I decided to bring it up to you guys on a live stream because I was like, we really don't bring up Trump that much. Like we don't focus on Trump stuff because other people are covering that. But then I made the decision to start talking about it because it got to the point where, okay, like this is becoming more mainstream. This is really a topic that people need to know more about. And, it turns out, as we explained, it got really real last night where, long story short, if you're just coming to this right where we are, where we reported last night, a QAnon supporter, Trump supporter, a family came up with guns and planned to shoot up the ballot counting right where we were reporting yesterday.
But Jen, stop talking about that. We should be talking about Debbie Wasserman Schultz instead.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. When Jordan talks about losing perspective, how could someone say it is not important to talk about QAnon and the dangers there and Trump supporters and the cult-like behavior, whereas we should be talking about more about the shadow app, which is so important, but so is QAnon. So are these white supremacist militias, these right-wing militias. So, so we can't lose perspective. There is nuance. Those rants were so good. And by the way, Jordan, guess what?
Welcome new member, Samantha!
Oh, so you're going to be even more excited because I have even more good news for you.
Holy cow.
Welcome, Samantha. Yay, Samantha. Okay. Get pumped up, Jordan, because Ron Collins put $100 in the super chat.
Ronnie boy. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. We need you.
You're
we need
amazing. That was during your rant. And so Ron said, keep the message going. I'm progressive, proud, and they, the political parties, need to come get me. Nice.
And might I add, as part of this rant, you know, I really, I try not to be holier than thou. I try not to be like we're better than everybody else, but in some ways we are better than everyone else.
We just are.
And I'll tell you why, flat out, because we work harder than everybody else. It's not to say I don't think Jimmy and Kyle and the Hill work harder, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just true. We go out into the field. There's a role for everybody, right? Commentators are great. We love them. They bring something unique. I'm sure they do hours of research when they're not on air. There's a lot that goes into just being in your studio. That's fine. But my point is, when somebody just wrote, and I could take criticism. What I can't take is moronic criticism. Somebody just wrote, Jordan rode Bernie's coattails and would never, ever criticize him. Like, what channel have you been watching?
No.
This is what I don't understand.
insane.
Not only do we go out and bust our ass covering stories that the corporate media will not go out and cover, but frankly, most independent outlets don't even cover. Do you know that I've had to beg independent outlets to have us on when we were in Louisville covering the demand for justice of Breonna Taylor? That was before the announcement of no charges. We were in Louisville. None of them seemed interested in having us on. You know, a lot of the times we've had to beg independent outlets, progressive outlets, to have us on or even cover Flint. Again, I'm not like trying to attack our own. My point is, people who claim, oh, you guys don't criticize Bernie. We lost subscribers for criticizing Bernie. People couldn't take it during the Democratic primaries that I was calling him weak during the debates. People couldn't take it when I criticized him for when he dropped out and how he dropped out and twisting himself into a human pretzel, doing like hostage-taking videos with Joe Biden. And now people are like, Jordan was holding Bernie's. You know, this is the problem with the progressive movement. People in the progressive movement, their first priority is who can carry the gold star for purity, not how do we fucking seize power from the United Corporations of America. I don't particularly care if you're pure. I care if we win. Because we could address purity once we're in power. Okay? But the only purity I care about is do you take massive corporate money and then sell out your votes to your corporate masters? If you do that, that's my purity. My second purity is you got to be for Medicare for all.
Yes.
My third is a Green New Deal or something like it. That's my purity. Other than that, we got to win. Mm-hmm. And this bullshit about, oh, if you cover Trump. Well, let me ask you something. Who's covered Flint? Who's covered Native Americans? Who's covered Jeff Bezos destroying Seattle and creating a homelessness epidemic on the West Coast? Well, throughout America. Who went to Dallas to cover the execution of Botham Jean, a 26-year-old black guy murdered in his apartment? He was just hanging out. Who went to cover Proud Boys, the rally? Who went to cover the California wildfires and actually talked about climate change? Rather than CNN and these dopes who cover it as this, oh, there's a fire in California. What's going on? What's causing it? So for those of you who, you know, we're not pure enough for you or we don't rant enough against the Democratic Party, go elsewhere. We'll cover what we think is right. And frankly, just to tell you the truth, I don't want to speak for her. She's got 2 young kids and is working 6-7 days a week sometimes. I got a new wife. I missed the first year of my nephew's life. I've missed I missed the first year of my nephew's life covering the 2016 election. I've missed the first year of my niece's life because there's a pandemic and my brother and sister-in-law understandably don't want me over if I'm traveling all the time and being around my niece. We make a lot of sacrifices, and I could take constructive criticism. What I can't really get down with is these insane purists who, you're a sellout. Well, you want to know something? You present to me who's pure, and tell me those pure people who meet your standards, what the fuck have they done for Flint, Michigan? What have they done for Standing Rock Sioux Tribe? What have they done for the Yellow Vest movement? What have they done for the protesters in Virginia who were literally sitting up atop their trees protesting so that an oil company wouldn't chop down their trees to put a natural gas pipeline under their fucking homes? What have these people that meet your purity test done for the people in Queens that I just covered who have had no gas in their public housing complex now for 2 months because they're poor and black and the gas is out and the government won't do anything for them? What have these people done for the workers of General Motors when I went out to cover 15,000 General Motors workers laid off? What have these people done for the homeless in Seattle when Jen and I went to cover Jeff Bezos' economic terrorism? What have these people done for the homeless in Portland? Jen just covered that. I could go on and on and on. Maybe I'm just tired.
Keep going on because people are super chatting.
I'm just fucking fed up with it. And I got to tell you the truth. It infuriates me. I know what we're up against. YouTube basically hides us in a cave. Half the time, people don't even know when we're live. You know how fucking frustrating it is for me when I have been doing this. Well, I've been doing this journalism since I was 18. I'm 34 now. You do the math. But it's infuriating when we bust our asses. We go all around the country. We don't work 9 to 5. I've been working Sundays pretty much for 2.5 years, meaning less time to spend with my wife, less time for me to sit on the couch drinking whiskey, farting, and watching football, which is what I'd like to be doing, less time with my niece and nephew, less time for myself, okay? It is infuriating when we are all over this country on a shoestring budget when we, frankly, lost an investor, a viewer. We lost a massive investor because of lies that were put out there about me. It's infuriating when we outwork everybody and we are actually covering things that actually need to see the day of light. Yet other people who, granted, have a lot higher following are getting 50,000 views live, 100,000 views live for simply saying nothing and ranting and exploiting people's justifiable anger. So, yeah, if you think I'm not pure enough, then good luck finding your pure goddess. Because I've had it up to here. Had it up to here. Okay? I don't see these fucking pure people that are so pure, I don't see them going around the country during a pandemic. Okay? I don't see them, frankly, having to deal in their personal life with people who don't want them to be going around the country during a pandemic and deal with that stress. Okay? Do you know every time we leave to go out in the country, we're separated from our family? When I go back, I'll be separated from my wife until I get a test. She has to social distance from her kids until she gets a test. Oftentimes, these tests take us 5 to 7 days to come back. I mean, it's just the focus right now is not the Democratic Party. It's the fact that we have a lunatic in the White House who's essentially, he doesn't need to say it. It's like the mafia doesn't put in writing, yeah, let's meet to go over the hit. He's literally, through his words, through his tweets, through his campaign, trying to incite a civil war. I don't mean like the 1860s, a new civil war. So to those who apparently it triggers them that we're spending too much talking about the Trump's attempted coup d'etat of democracy, even though we don't really have a democracy, then go somewhere else for your purity, because I don't need you, and we don't need you. And by the way, what planet do these people live on? They're like, oh, you were not critical of Bernie enough. Oh, you're not critical of Biden enough. You want to know something? I have literally had friends in my life mad at me because I cover Biden too critically. That I should just shut the fuck up and not talk about Biden. We lost subscribers when we started talking about the Hunter Biden story because we were saying it should be covered because there is something there. Frankly, to this day, Joe Biden, who's about to be president-elect, has not answered whether he met with this Burisma executive and then a year later tried to get a prosecutor in Ukraine fired. He hasn't said he didn't meet with him. They also never challenged the authenticity of the emails. We were the ones saying that. So I could go on and on. All I got to say, if you like this rant, there's a lot of righteous indignation behind it. It ain't contrived. We're not grifters, unlike a lot of other independent media people. Maybe one day I'll name names. Can't wait to write a book one day about certain outlets. But until then, sign up as a member to statuscoup.com/join for $5 a month so you could support real journalism. And if we're not pure enough for you, then go get some Purell.
Oh my goodness, guys. So many super chats. Hoop-G7, $5 in the super chat. Thank you so much. Jessica Solar, $4.99 in the super chat. Thank you. Thank you for putting it all on the line to bring the untold news to the people. Much love to the Status Coup team. More are coming in. Let me grab that one, copy and paste it. Faint signals from Vega, 10. Is that Australian? I don't know. So sorry you lost a big backer due to slander, Jordan, and that social media censors Status Coup. Don't get me started on those horrible, horrible lies. Just
So, somebody said, Jordan, farts are progressive.
oh my God. Oh no, don't egg Jordan on with his farting. You and Jen are doing journalism. No need to apologize or explain. Much love, Trish from Tasmania. Yay.
Go ahead.
$10 from Karen Webster. Thank you so much. Saying you need some food. We ate lunch, so that's good. We probably will grab something for dinner later on. Thank you so much. Ghostface Killer, $5 to the super chat. Thank you. $10 from Kinney Art. Thank you so much. George Inotowak, $20 in the super chat. Love you both for all your hard work, for your nuance, intelligence, and courage. Appreciate you both so much. Thank you, George. It's very, very sweet. Maker of Things, $2 in the super chat. Every time you curse, there goes my purse. That's funny. Leslie Wheeler, $5 in the super chat. I love you guys. I feel at home watching you too. Jen, could you please stand and show us your hoodie? What colors are available? I think I want one. Sure. I don't know. I think just black. I could probably make others available. I'm actually really bad at I'm really bad at Teespring, which we use. So I think I have to have Colin figure it out because there's a bunch of stuff we can offer on Teespring and we don't. I think Jordan has a different one.
I think we should make T-shirts. This is purity.
We have T-shirts.
No, but this is purity
Oh.
with the Status Coup logo.
This is a different style hoodie. Yeah, so statuscoup.com/store. Javi Foxglove, $5 Canadian dollars. Thanks so much for your intrepid reporting, Jen and Jordan. Zach Drozol, $20 in the super chat. You guys are great. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much. Detroit Microsound, $10 in the super chat. Now we go after Biden's donors hard. Absolutely, we're definitely going to have to follow the money when it comes to the Biden administration, 100%. Maker of Things, $2 in the super chat. Who caught COVID and survived covering the ground? Yeah, Jordan had COVID. I don't know if you were out in the field during
I'm telling you, I think I got COVID during the Democratic primary. COVID was here much earlier than I think we even know. I had a really, really bad cold in February. I think you went to Nevada for me. I had a really bad cold where I couldn't get out of bed. I had
Oh, yeah.
I think at one point I had a fever with that. I think that might have been I don't know if it was COVID or the precursor to COVID, but I was traveling all around the country and COVID was already here in February and March.
Well, it could have made you more susceptible.
Correct. So...
Yeah.
And people were asking, and super chats are welcome for more information. People were asking, Jordan, name names. Who are the grifters? Well, I think the Young Turks are grifters. I was starting to have my issues with the Young Turks even before I was fired. I mean, I look at, and by the way, I don't say this about everybody there, but let's just call it what it is. I mean, are you on the Young Turks email list? Are you getting 4 or 5 emails a day to be, first we need you to be the resistance against the Democratic Party, then we need you to be the resistance against Trump. At one point, they were literally doing open emails fundraising for Joe Biden. Now, today, Jank sent out another email, kind of like mission accomplished style. We got him with the donate tab. This is what we call grifting. It's fundraising as the wind goes. As the wind goes. There's some other people that I'm not particularly in love with in independent media that right now I will refrain from mentioning.
Can I mention some?
Sure.
Actually, it's kind of funny. If you guys listened to when Jordan and I went on Media Roots with Abby and Robbie Martin, I was like hinting at grifters, and Abby was like, "I'll fucking name some names," and she just like went off. It was really cute. So I'll name some names. Nico House, 100%. I know some of you are fans. Sorry, it is what it is. I'll list 100 reasons if you want to email me. I'll tell you.
Tim Black
is scum, scummy scum.
And by the way,
I'll also tell you if you email me. I'll tell you why.
By the way, since this is how he rolls, he would say it's because he's black. No, I don't care if he's purple. He's a shady guy. We explained why many shows ago. The Cliff Notes version is he exploited a smear against me, knowing it was a smear, and refused to tell all sides, even though he had the ability to show all sides. So for that, I don't have a lot of respect for him. To tell you the truth, I can't say anything about his actual show or content because I've never watched his show or content. I don't mean that to be condescending. I've just never watched it. So I don't know if he's a good host or not, but as a person, he exploited a vicious smear against me for clicks. And for that, I don't have a lot of respect for him. There's some others that I think, frankly...
Kim Iverson.
Oh, Kim Iverson, forget it. I've gotten
Horrible.
I've gotten in fights with her on Twitter.
Racist.
She says some things that are just batshit crazy. Who else is there that
Well, some have like gone away, like AJ Goodman and Zach Holler, like they're gone.
Yeah, gone with the wind. Yeah, but Nico has always been, I mean, it was just maddening to see him even having viewers. And I had audience members who I like, our audience, saying like, oh, you should go on with Nico. He's really, he's a really good guy. I'm like, no, Nico House is literally a Trump level compulsive liar. This man lied that I, quote unquote, fired him while he was homeless because I used to have a nonprofit journalism organization, and he did some stuff for me for like once, and he claimed that I fired him while he was homeless, which is literally the opposite was true. I offered him money when he was homeless to help him out. He also ranted and raved against the Young Turks, but behind the scenes was asking me to pass his resume to the Young Turks because he wanted to get hired by the Young Turks. He also said that he heard me once say something derogatory about Palestinians, which is literally just made up. I've never said that. In fact, I've spoken against Israel, even though my father is a fucking loony Zionist, and me speaking against Israel, my father and my brother don't like it when I have spoken against Israel in certain respects. I mean, he's just a fucking liar. I mean, watching him during the campaign with his head so fucking far up Tulsi Gabbard's ass, he couldn't see straight. It was embarrassing. So that's number one. Tim, and by the way, I'm saying you watch whatever you want. This is what we think, based on our personal experience with people.
We're right.
But you can watch whoever you want. You want to watch Tim? You want to watch the Young Turks? I don't give a damn.
No, Jimmy is not a grifter. Jimmy's a friend.
No, we're friends with Jimmy. I think he's a little extreme sometimes. I've told him to his face, I think you're over the line. But I think where Jimmy comes from is good. I think it's genuine what he's saying.
Yes.
A lot of these other people are doing things for clicks.
And for the record, I love Fee, so don't mix her up with Nico. And I like pasta too.
And Me Bar says, I unsubscribed from TYT after learning how they treated Jordan. I guess I'll be unsubscribing from Tim Black too. Don't get it twisted. This rant, I'm not telling you to unsubscribe from people. I'm telling you that, I'll just, for the viewers, you make up your mind. I was accused of assault. It was bullshit. I didn't say so at the time. I didn't call it bullshit then because of the early days of Me Too. And even if you're falsely accused, you have to be you have to be diplomatic. But it was a complete lie. The woman completely concocted the story out of thin air. Jen, without me even knowing, looked into it, and Jen realized it was a complete lie. When this happened and the Young Turks fired me, I'm not going to get back into that. Tim Black reached out to me to see if I wanted to make a comment. I told him, no, I don't want to make a comment. Then I find out that Tim Black is going to have the woman on his show that was making this accusation against me. Okay. Obviously, I wasn't pleased that he was going to have her on, but whatever. If he wants to have this woman on who's making an allegation against me without there's no truth to it, fine. Where I lost whatever respect I had for him, because I met him once before that, there were two other people that night present during this incident, okay? And they both were on the record, my former cameraman Ty and another woman, saying this woman who's accusing Jordan is lying. She was not drunk. Jordan never forced himself, so on, so on, so on. They said she was making it up. They both, I know one of them actually, but I believe Ty too, reached out to Tim Black to go on his show because Tim Black had the woman on who was making this false allegation against me. And Tim Black refused to have them on. So I understand he's not a journalist per se, and I'm not somebody who in every situation says you should have both sides. But yes, if somebody is accusing a man of raping them, which is the worst possible thing you could accuse a man of, and there are two other people reaching out to you saying, this isn't true, I'd like to come on, and he won't have them on, you make up your mind what his motivations were. And when he had the woman on, who made up this complete bullshit accusation, which ruined my life temporarily, I had worked for 10 years before that, I had paid my dues in the media, I had busted my ass in my 20s to get to the point I was at the Young Turks, and it literally was all gone in a minute. Well, in a couple days. Not to mention that on Google, if you Google my name, it still has that heinous accusation against me. Before I met my wife, you try going on dates when people Google your name. You try getting investors to back a company you're trying to build. You try doing just about anything in society when that is associated with your name. The other thing, it's one thing if you want to have somebody on your show to make a specific allegation against me. Maybe don't spend the first 2.5 hours just allowing this person to rant and rave about me without even getting into the night in question. Scout's honor, Jen could tell you, I literally to this day have not watched that interview. I never saw the interview. My brothers and my friends and Jen explained to me what happened because I didn't want to watch it. I was too depressed at the time.
I sat there and watched it with Jordan's parents and brothers.
But he literally had this girl on for 2 hours to just trash me as a person before even getting to the so-called accusation against me. And I understand he's not a journalist, but you think you might have pushed back a little bit? Asked, well, there's 2 other witnesses saying this isn't true. Why did you go? I'm not going to get into the full details again. But the point is, I have more respect for people that are just openly grifters. But for those that try to pretend to be progressive and cool, no. What he did was very clear. He saw that a lot of fucking people were watching his show live because he had an incendiary headline speaking with the woman accusing me. The views were there, and he wrote it for as far as he could. And then had the audacity to refuse to have the 2 other people who could say this is a lie on. So that's my thoughts on him. Might be a nice person otherwise, but as far as in my personal experience,
no,
that's
not.
extremely, it's not even shady, it's unethical. You might not be a journalist, you might be a commentator, but if you're going to give somebody a platform to accuse a man of, the worst thing you could do next to murder then you have a responsibility if there's other individuals involved who could debunk the claim. You have a responsibility to give those people a platform. And the fact that he didn't, that's all you need to know.
Well, and then last year, someone said, tweeted to him, "Oh, you should have Jordan on," and then he responded and tagged you, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to have Jordan on," like whatever, blah blah blah, and he was trying to be real friendly, and it's like, how could you do that? How could you not even try to apologize after you try to destroy a man's life? And
I know if he gets wind of that I just did this whole rant, I know exactly what's coming because he's done it before. He's going to make it a race thing. He's going to say I'm attacking a black man, all this bullshit. Frankly, I don't even care if he's white, if he's black, if he's glow in the dark. This was about green. This was about clicks. He saw the clicks and he ran with it. So no, I don't have a lot of respect for him. He might be, I don't really watch his show, so maybe he has some good takes on politics from time to time. But as far as I'm concerned, if you claim to be progressive, if you claim to care about just basic things, you don't knowingly exploit a situation for the benefit of yourself. That's my feelings. Boy, this has really gone off course.
We have a lot of super chats.
A lot of super chats.
Apropos of absolutely nothing. There's one woman on this earth who I wouldn't care was chopped up by a what are they called? An axe.
And by the way, just to reset for a minute,
Chainsaw.
Did they have the press conference in Allegheny County?
Who? Oh, the GOP?
I thought they were supposed to have a press conference in Allegheny County. But right now, Biden's lead in Pennsylvania has grown to 20,000. And honestly, I'd be shocked if they don't call it for him tonight because they're running out of ballots, basically. Trump's running out of ballots to turn it around. I think they're being extremely cautious to call it because, frankly, I think they're afraid of the wrath of Trump. But honestly, by being this cautious, like Nate Silver has even said, I don't know why they haven't called it hours ago. By not calling it, I feel like they're giving Trump even more even more wiggle room to declare something's off by not calling it. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. All the counties that the votes are still remaining that they need to count are all counties that Joe Biden has been crushing Donald Trump. So just the trends are that Joe Biden is crushing Donald Trump in these counties. So these counties will not flip it back to Trump. So anyway, but
so
that was a great rant. I enjoyed myself.
So many super chats. Super duper chats.
For more super chats, for more memberships, hey, we'll fucking reveal every single thing you could ask for tonight. We'll name names. We'll give you the behind the scenes. Who stabbed who in the back? Super chat.
We do know.
Super chat. But most importantly, sign up as a member to Status Coup. StatusCout.com/join for as low as $5 a month. We need you.
We do know a lot of shit about the behind the scenes of the progressive world. That's for darn sure. Oh, I have one more place that I would like to name as a total piece of shit. Hard Lens Media.
Oh.
Fuck you.
Oh. Let's not even give them the attention that they seek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pat Anderson, $10 in the super chat. Love you. Taria, $5 in super chat. Every name you said, that's exactly who I thought it could be. I thought it was crazy when I pulled away from those channels because they seemed fake. You have a good sense of who is good and who is not. J. Rami, sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name. I apologize. $4.99 in the super chat. As Carlin said, it's the owners of this country. Thank you for mentioning progressives. Need to go after donors, specifically their profits. Yes, for sure. Antonio Danzi, 10 Canadian dollars in the super chat. Don't always agree with you 150% of the time, but that's irrelevant. As long as you do objective and honest journalism, that's all that should count. Keep it up. Proud to be a member. Thank you so much. Thank you, Antonio. And we don't have to agree all the time. And in fact, I think it's best not to. We grow when we disagree. And I said this on the other chat, bouncing ideas around and coming together, and we help each other grow when we have different ideas. I love it.
And by the way, can I just say, I think it started kind of in 2016 because progressives were rightly infuriated at that primary and the rigging, and once the WikiLeaks came out. But before this, before the Bernie era, the progressive movement wasn't this narrow. There was people in Occupy Wall Street that disagreed on methods, strategies, whether they should be only focusing on Wall Street or all special interests. I mean, there's always been Vietnam protesters, the activists and organizers who led the Vietnam protests disagreed in a lot of cases. Same thing with the original civil rights movement and black leaders within the black liberation movement. They had disagreements. Whether, whatever you want to categorize it, progressive or socialist or whatever, there's always been room for disagreement. As long as the end goal and our values were always the same, it was just on certain things, we might feel stronger about certain things than other progressives do, or we might have a different feeling on how to get. I'm not talking about, differing I agree with Medicare for all, versus another progressive might feel like Obamacare is wonderful. No, if you think Obamacare is wonderful, I'd say you're not that progressive. But the point is, somewhere along the rigging of 2016, a lot of progressives just fucking became extremists. I don't mean MAGA extremists, but mentally kind of extreme. That if there's any dissension, if there's any dissenting view, you're a sellout. And I think that's really sophomoric, immature thinking, frankly.
I like it. Hold on, I'm copying and pasting another super chat because you guys are just too amazing. People say I sound cute when I curse. I'm hardcore, guys. You just don't know it.
Pookie New Jack, I love that name.
Pookie New Jack City, $2 Canadian in the super chat, coming to you live. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Beauty and the diabetes. That's funny. How do you upgrade your membership? Okay, so everybody right now go to your membership and upgrade. No, so if you want to upgrade your membership, go to statuscoup.com/account and sign in. And you can there should be a drop down or something, and you can choose your to upgrade or change your membership level. Welcome, new Status Coup member. Oh my gosh, an annual member at that.
Jamel!
Yay!
Woohoo! Jamel! We are 19 members away from 1,700.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Keep signing up, statuscoup.com/join. And now, do you have more super chats?
A ton.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find where I left off though. Sorry. Reese Mack, £5 in the super chat. What about Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk? I don't know him personally, but I think he's great. I think I really enjoy listening to him. CVEKK, $10 in the super chat. Y'all have been clutch journalism for real, head and shoulders above the rest. Love y'all. Thank you. That's awesome. Maker of Things, $2 in the super chat. Tim Black, he's not on point. Clarify. I think hopefully we've done that now. DCL, $10 in the super chat. I lost my best friend to the QAnon monstrosity. He's not the same person. I think that's the worst part of the conspiracy. People get sucked in. Their reality, I feel like, becomes distorted. Be safe. Yes. I've spent a lot of time. I'm sorry that happened to you, first of all. I think that is devastating and horrible. And I think in some ways it can feel almost like a death of someone you used to know. I've spent a lot of time reading this particular subreddit called QAnon Casualties, and I think you might find some value in reading that subreddit. Again, it's called QAnon Casualties, and you'll find a really big community of people who have stories just like yours, who have lost parents, friends, children to QAnon. So,
honestly, I got to tell you something. He's not quite there yet. My father's not with QAnon. But I know for a fact the next time I talk to him, he's going to be pushing out this crazy conspiracy Kool-Aid because this is all he's consuming, Fox News. So he's going to think the election was stolen too. And whether it's QAnon or just this right-wing disinformation, even sane people that we love in our world, I'm sure viewers have somebody like this, family member, friend, are buying into a lot of BS, including on the left, including family members who think like Nancy Pelosi is amazing. Who think that, you know, Joe Biden is such a just solid, down-to-earth guy.
This is an entirely different level.
Okay.
Like,
fine.
You got to read this subreddit. It's really sad. Like
I try to stay out of the sewer. But go ahead.
This is a whole other thing. It's really scary and sad. SH499 in the super chat. Thank you. Maker of Things, $2 in the super chat. Nico doesn't debate. He just screams. He's awful. Indeed, he is.
And by the way, somebody said, Nico didn't vote for evil, Jordan. You did. That makes him have more integrity than you. Isn't Nico now doing, like, taking pictures and stuff?
Rachel Maddow off. Rachel, breaking news. Well, I shouldn't smile.
What?
I'm really bad. I'm sorry. I repent.
What?
Rachel Maddow off election coverage after COVID exposure.
Oh, yeah.
How did you know? It just broke.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say Rachel Maddow off after being punished for being a conspiracy theory lunatic. But she's off because she had COVID. So, you know,
No,
be
she
well,
had it.
Rachel.
She was exposed.
Oh, you're exposed. Hopefully you can go home, unwind, you know, maybe talk to someone about your Russiagate conspiracy. Right.
Okay. A Maker of Things, another $2 in the super chat. To this J, this $2 could have bought. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Marlo Stanfield, $9.99 in the super chat. This is to bribe to name names. Well, thank you. We named them.
Well, there are more, but you're going to have to bribe me with a little bit more. And frankly, legally, I can't name certain names, unfortunately.
I mean...
she can, though, but I can't.
I didn't sign anything. Zach Drazel. Sorry for mispronouncing. $5 in the super chat. Name the names, Jordan.
Another new member. Welcome, new member, Jay. Woo-hoo! All right, we got Jay, Jamal, Samantha. We're 18 members away from 1,700.
That's
Sign up,
exciting.
statuscoup.com/join. You know, I want to move the ball forward if we might, unless you have more super chats.
I do.
Go ahead.
The
go
people
ahead.
have just been so awesome. Curious one, $5 in super chat. I have little, but I respect and appreciate you so much. There's this.
Somebody
What's
said
wrong with you?
Rachel's gonna blame it on Russia.
Oh, she will. She probably will. So, I've told you guys, like, I grew up in, like, a cult, like, Christian household. But the only, like, Bible story that I really like and still hold on to is the one, I don't even really remember the details. But it's this widow, and she only had, I think they called it widow's mite. And so she only had 2 or something left. And so, like, all the rich people were being cheap and just putting, like, a little bit in the bowl, but, like, more than she had. And she put her last 2 coins in the thing, and it meant more than the rich people were giving. So that didn't make any sense, but I really appreciate everything you guys give. Absolutely. Kane88, $10 in the super chat. Jordan and Jen. I don't know. Jordan and Jen 2024. If the U.S. could have another country's political system or laws, which would it be?
Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark's would be fantastic. So Kane is saying in Finland they give monthly stipends to students for going to college. Yeah, that'd be amazing. For sure. Kenny Art, $10 in the super chat. I make print-on-demand products for a living and would be happy to help you, Jen. Yes, write me at info@statuscoup.com. I'd love to talk with you about
What are we printing?
Well, so it'd be like T-shirts and stuff, I assume.
Okay.
Yeah. Maker of Things, another $2 in super chat. Status Coup for the soul. I love that. Yeah, so I think we're caught up.
Can I just show this tweet, John? Because this is a good segue to my next topic. Peter Dow, who is a recovering Clintonite. Let me get up so I could read it to the people. I'm sure they could read, but I want to read it. Okay. Gut check. There's no pushing Biden left. There's only organizing outside the two-party hegemony and building leftist power. I've been inside the system. It is designed to absorb and diffuse internal threats. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because unless something really dramatic happens, Biden is going to become the president-elect. Kamala Harris, the vice president. And what I think progressives need to understand, and again, I'm not trying to white-splain to Black Lives Matter protesters or any protesters, whether it be Sunrise Movement, Black Lives Matter, Fight for 15, Medicare for All, and so DACA, so on and so on. But the truth is that if you look throughout history, the most successful groups and movements, they got whatever little change they were able to get through our corrupt government was not through protesting in the streets and applying pressure, because the politicians don't really care how much you protest, as long as you're not blocking their drive home. Labor unions were super successful in the 1950s, the 1960s, early parts of the 1970s, because there was strength in numbers. There was a hell of a lot of Americans paying dues and a union member. And that strength in numbers, that leverage through the numbers of labor members, was able to apply the pressure to corporate CEOs, corporate board of directors, CEOs who back then, long time ago, only made 10 to 15 times what their employees made. Okay? So when there's economic power, meaning strength in numbers, quantity of people that have collective bargaining rights, quantity of people that if they strike, a company goes out of business if the strike lasts long enough. Those kind of things. That is how you actually get real policy concessions, whether it be better benefits at your job, better health care, higher wages, you name it. Because human nature, particularly in this country, is the people in power they don't really care. Maybe they used to, but I'd say since the 1970s, 80s, they don't particularly care whether you have oxygen. They don't particularly care whether your children have food. They don't particularly care if you're able to take a vacation. They don't particularly care if you have a roof over your head. They care how much, what is that phrase? How much juice you could squeeze out of the orange?
It's lemon. Yeah?
Whatever. Something like that.
I don't know.
How much juice you could squeeze out of the orange. So it is delusional, and I think that's what Peter Dow was saying. For the left and progressives, whether it's Sunrise and these other groups, you need to understand, yes, you could organize, you could build your email list, you could even build large protests, but the system is structured in a way so that there is no democracy. There was a great study a couple years ago, I think it was Harvard or somebody, that said almost, 75 to 80% of public policy, 90% of the public will never showed up in public policy, meaning our government officials ignored the will of 90% of the country on most policies. So right there, if somebody knows what study I'm talking about, drop it in the super chat. right there shows we don't have a democracy. Democracy is when you elect people not just to represent you, but to deliver the change you collectively want. We haven't had that in a very long time. FDR maybe was the last. So my point is, how do you actually create change? How do you move Biden out of bed, much less left? It really has nothing to do with changing Joe Biden's mind, because his mind's not going to be made. His mind's not going to be changed because his mind isn't allowed to be changed. He's not allowed. The donors won't let them. Perfect example. Kamala Harris. Maybe in her heart, right? Maybe in her heart, I doubt it, maybe she genuinely agreed with Bernie Sanders. And that's why she signed on to Bernie's Medicare for All bill. I doubt it. I think she's a political shapeshifter. And she signed on to Bernie's bill because she was already thinking of running for president. Okay. She signed up for Medicare for All. She announces her presidential run first, January 2019, if I'm remembering correctly. CNN does a town hall with her 24 hours later. It was a pillow party. They didn't challenge her at all. She says she's for Medicare for All. Yes, let's get rid of private insurance. Within 24 hours, she's already moonwalking away from that. Why do you think that is? Do you think maybe there's a power structure in this country where she knows if she upsets Wall Street, if she upsets every special interest, the financial lawyers, the hedge fund people, the fossil fuckers, big pharma, big real estate, everybody, all of them, that she ain't getting ahead in politics? So she moonwalked away from it to some Medicare for All.
She got ahead in politics in other ways, too.
Yes, well, whatever. So my point is, that is the American system. You can't actually move somebody like Kamala Harris because it's not her who's in control. It's the donors. Same thing for Joe Biden. So then what, Jen? Then we have to move the real rulers of the world. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the Waltons, the CEOs of McDonald's, Burger King, Whole Foods. I'm not talking about violence, no violence. But the only way you're going to get real change is if you really take a civil action, not a violent action, but when you take a machete to the actual rulers of the world, and that would be the donors, the United Corporations of America. Biden will move left if you force the donors, if you bring the donors to the negotiating table. And how you do that is you hurt the donors' bottom line.
Very, very good.
That's all you have to say to my eloquent rant?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at some other things, trying to line some stuff up here. You didn't like my Willie Brown joke.
I didn't get it.
What do you mean?
Oh, I was in a rant, so I missed it.
You said she got ahead in politics by doing certain things, and I said, well, she got ahead in other ways too.
Well, as a man, I don't think I am allowed to say those things.
Well, I'm allowed to.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
You're free to speak your mind.
Well.
Oh, can I just mention real quick? I want to give shout-outs.
I have another name. I have another name to drop, and maybe if we get like massive GoFundMes and members, I'll drop it. I have so much like pent-up anger, so much. Maybe.
Well, thank you for the GoFundMe, David. 100. Oh no, Davior. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. $100. Thank you, Davior. Timothy, $20. Anonymous, $20. Holy cow! Keep them coming. We're almost at $128,000 raised. For those of you that are new, we don't have $128,000 in the bank. This is how much we have raised cumulatively since we launched this GoFundMe in 2018. We spent quite a lot of it on travel and all the other costs of a small business. So keep super chatting, GoFundMe. Like we said in the beginning, I mean, at any moment, I don't want to be dramatic, but really, at any moment, they might declare Biden the winner of Pennsylvania, and then the president.
All right, hold on, guys. I'm gonna need like some real incentive because.
Which name are you dropping?
New member Esther. Yeah, did we announce that?
Oh, we were on French television today.
Oh yeah, I was gonna read. I copied and pasted that. That's so cool. So
Yes, new member Esther. Annual.
Where'd it go? Carrie, where did I put it? Carrie. Well, do you have it pulled up? You can read it.
Welcome, new member Esther! Woohoo! An annual member. So we're now 17 members away from 1,700 members. So join Esther, join Jay, join Jamel, join Samantha, and become a Status Coup member for as low as $5 a month. You know you want to do it. And by the way, if you join, you'll get the link to join our members only Discord, which is a ton of fun. They're always chatting in the Discord. I go in the Discord sometimes, so does Jen. And you'll get invited to our monthly members only call. You think we're doing TMI right now? Wait till you join our monthly members call. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
and I just uploaded a video for our members from last night. We saw a corporate media stooge doing laughable journalism. So we shot a video. It's up for members and patrons now.
Yeah, and I have members' videos and stuff to put up as well. Here's what I was trying to find. So Carrie says that Jen, that's me, Jen and Jordan, I saw you today on French television in a report from Philadelphia. You are international stars now. That's cool. If you have it, send it to us. I saw you posting, and I thought I copied and pasted it to put in my notes, but I didn't. Yeah, I do. So keep joining and posting on GoFundMe, and if I feel incentivized enough to burn myself, then I'll drop the name. It's as simple as that. GoFundMe, I'll drop the GoFundMe, statuscoup.com/join. Let's get those members up. We're trying to get to 2,000 members, which puts us in a much more comfortable place to be a startup. If you're new to us, we are viewer funded, we are independent, we're not beholden to anyone but you, the viewer. We do investigative pieces. We've done great work in Flint on the water crisis, which, by the way, is ongoing. And the governor killed people for money, to really boil it down.
And we broke that story, by the way, a few months ago.
Yes. So we do work like that, like the way journalism is supposed to be done. So we work really, really hard, and our goal and motto is to give the microphone back to the people. So join us, $5 a month. You get in on the great Discord members chat, Ask Me Anything calls, a bunch of other great premium content. Statuscoup.com/join. Keep the GoFundMe coming, all of that.
And I believe a viewer helped me out with the study I was escaping. It was a Stanford University study from a couple years ago that said 90% of public opinion, so the American citizens, 90% of the things we want don't actually happen. Our government does not actually legislate any of those things.
Wow.
So you call that a democracy or a rigged oligarchy? I call it a rigged oligarchy.
Todd, we do need a web designer. Email info@statuscoup.com, please, and we can chat. Let's see if there are any that I'm missing. I know, Carl, I've lost my mind. Carl says, Jenna's acting so funny and spunky today. It's because I've lost my mind due to the election. I apologize. I'm definitely punchy today, and until they call the election, I shall remain so. Maker of Things, $5 in the super chat. By the way, Maker of Things, I do smoke J's. I did not understand what you were talking about. Maker of Things, $5 in super chat. The stock market is a graph of billionaire feelings. It's an easy way to track our progress. Let's put the coup in play. Yeah, it's infuriating to watch the stock market go up or be okay while the world is crumbling for everyday people. Detroit Microsound, $5 in the super chat. Excellent topic. Joe's donors are our focus now. Here come their headaches and neck aches and shoulder aches and hangovers.
Damn right.
Pookie, New Jack City, $2 Canadian. Jordan, how does your mom and dad not watch you? They watch him. They support his work. They're great.
I kind of got a little snippy with my mother earlier. I feel bad.
Why?
Because it's like my mother and father,
Don't get
I don't
mad
know
at
if
her.
they just don't understand what I do,
Oh,
but
stop.
they like call me like I'm in bed drinking a margarita. My mom called me on election night. I'm like, do you not think I'm a little busy right now? I can't speak.
You could have taken 2 seconds to say, "Hey, Mom."
But it's not 2 seconds. She's calling, what's going on? Who's going to win? And I'm just like, I'm a little busy here. My father calls me at all hours of the day. He calls me when I'm live. It's like, I feel bad because I love my parents, and you never know if it's important what they're calling about. But at least check. You could see that I'm live. So I was a little rude. I'll have to atone to my
Don't be
mother.
a grumpy Gus. Like, Jordan's parents are so nice. He could take 2 minutes and just say, "Hey, Mom, I love you. I do have to go." And she would say, "Okay, no problem."
But it's
That's
like, okay, here's an
She
example.
would not be like,
my
"Oh."
parents work in the jewelry industry. So I know during the Christmas season, they're very busy. So when I was a kid, I knew that. So I wouldn't be like calling my dad asking about the weather on Christmas Eve when he's trying to sell jewelry. So that's what I'm saying. And by the way, I just want to address this comment.
But you work all the time. Like, there's no time where you're not working.
That's true. So Michael said,
Answer the phone and say, "Hey, I have to go. I love you. Bye." And
Okay.
they're like, "Okay, fine, cool."
you don't know my father.
Yes, I do.
That's not how it goes.
You're insane.
Michael.
I talk to Jordan's father
Michael
like,
said,
pretty frequently.
so I
You
guess,
know his
Michael said, so I guess my super chat got skipped. Got to be honest.
No.
Got to be honest. I'm thinking about canceling my membership. I don't like the trash talk of fellow progressive media comrades. Back up your claims or stop. First of all, Michael.
up claims?
First of all, Michael.
I'll write you a manifesto if you'd like.
First of all, Michael, it goes really quick, so we do apologize if we missed your super chat. Feel free to drop in your comment, and we'll read it. We just missed it. Secondly, that's the point. These are not my comrades. Maybe they're your comrades. They're not my comrades. And I don't know what you mean. I don't like trash talking of fellow progressives. I don't think you're getting my point. In my view, these are not progressive people. These are people that have lied about me personally. Nico has literally just made up things about me. Mm-hmm. So these are not like people that I'm just like arbitrarily trashing. He has said things publicly. He's called me a rapist on air. I'm not. He has said I have said things about Palestinians. Never have. He publicly said that I fired him while he was homeless, sleeping in his car. It's in fact the opposite. I offered him money because he was struggling. I never fired him when he was homeless. And Tim Black, I already explained, exploited a very, very devastating situation for me and basically danced on my temporary grave. So I'm not like, when you say prove it, I don't know what you mean, prove it. It's on the internet. You could watch the interview he did. I mean, I don't know, like I've seen the two people who were there that night. They showed me them reaching out to him to go on his show, and he wouldn't have them on. So I don't know. Sometimes I just don't understand people. And by the way, to be clear, beyond that situation, I don't even know Tim Black. I met him once. Maybe he's progressive in some areas, but as far as his dealings with me, he took an accusation against me and ran with it for his own gain. And then when he had the opportunity to have two people on that could debunk a woman who is lying about me to ruin my life, he chose not to do that. So that's my point. He is not my comrade. Neither is Nico, who's a liar. He makes things up, and he's a grifter. I digress.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So we have 850 people watching. It might be called soon. It's almost 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. And
Silence is violence. Go vegan says Status Coup reminds me of a Seinfeld episode.
oh, I love Seinfeld. Do you know Jerry Seinfeld was from my town growing up? When I was in middle school, you know how you get, your textbook or you're reading a book in English class, and in the back of the book, you have to write your name, and it has a list of all the people who had this book. I had a book that was Jerry Seinfeld's.
Oh my God, I would have stolen it.
Yes. By the way, another new member, Zach. Holy cow.
Yay.
It's raining members now. Sign up. New member, Zach, Esther, Jay, Jamel, Samantha, Keep signing up.
That's
We're
exciting.
16 members away from hitting 1,700. We love you. Keep signing up. Statuscoup.com/join. And I think we should talk about what we think comes next.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know.
I mean, with us, Status Coup.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into full details, but Jen and I are working on something top secret and very big, which will involve another road trip. After that, I mean, honestly,
Woohoo.
for me, obviously, we need to be safe. We need to be safe. I mean, I just read, I have to confirm it. Yesterday was 120,000 new cases of coronavirus in America. That's a new record. NBC apparently just reported that today has been 122,000.
Freaking
So it
nuts.
keeps going up. So we got to be safe. Personally, I wouldn't go to Wisconsin right now. Wisconsin is a explosion of cases. I mean, cases are exploding everywhere, but there's certain hot spots where it's just everywhere. So we're going to have to be careful about where we go, how often we travel, that kind of thing. But I really want to cover Navajo Nation.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's through the everyday crises we've been dealing with, the Native Americans have been disproportionately, they talk about black people who have been disproportionately harmed by coronavirus, and that's very, very true. It's not like one is more screwed than the other. But per capita, Navajo Nation in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and one other state has had the most COVID cases of any state. I hope you're not laughing at Navajo Nation.
No.
No. Navajo Nation, as per capita, has had more COVID cases than New York, the state of New York. That's how bad it is. So I'd like to cover that. I'd also like to go on another COVID depression tour. We did one of those a couple months ago. It literally was basically stopping town to town and interviewing people who are unemployed, without health care, beginning to have to make tough decisions between groceries for their kids or the electric bill. There's a lot more of that now because we've had people without federal unemployment for 3 months. This expired in July. We're now headed to December or early November right now. So I'd love to go cover that. I hope that's pure enough for you.
That trip, I think, was so important and such a great example of what Status Coup is. There's no other outlet in the country that did anything like that tour.
I'd like to go back to Louisville. I know that right now the Attorney General of Kentucky announced no charges, which I've told you 100% is a cover-up. He lied to the public about the Breonna Taylor investigation, and the two grand jury members came out saying, yeah, he lied. We'd like to go back, hopefully interview Breonna's family. And then there is the Joe Biden administration, which there's been reports even before Election Day, lobbyists were popping their champagne because it was back to business, baby. They know that they're going to have an open door policy in the Joe Biden administration. So I think that we want to follow the money like we always do. And we are going to be naming names, and we are going to be investigating who is he appointing to his cabinet, who is he appointing to his agencies, who's he giving ambassadorships to. I promise you, he's giving ambassadors to the money men and women who got him elected. Where's he sending Pete? Is Pete going to be ambassador to like something? So there's a lot to investigate about the Biden administration. And then there is, frankly, I think we need to put a face to the COVID depression. I don't really care what the Labor Department reports, that unemployment is going down and the economy is coming back. That is, in Joe Biden's words, malarkey. For the majority of people right now, they are living in their own economic depression, with the holidays coming up, by the way. So we have a lot to cover. Obviously, Trump might go, but Trumpism isn't going anywhere. So we're going to have to cover the exploding conspiracy movements. I don't think Trump, even if he does leave the White House, I think he's just going to start Trump TV and probably tweet 500 times a day. He's still going to be a major, major figure in American life and politics, whether you like it or not. He's got a cult following, and he's not giving up that cult following, and I don't think he's passing the torch to somebody else. So, yeah, I read these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Great. So I do have some updated super chats. I do want to mention though before we move on. Oh,
welcome new member Jess.
yay!
All right, another new member.
This is so great.
Keep signing up. statuscoup.com/join. We have Jess, Zach, Esther, Jay, Jamel, Samantha, Martin. That's all today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can we get 3 more to round it to 10 and then go from there? 3 more members to get to 10 new today.
That would be really, really good.
And by the way, just so you guys know, once you sign up, after the fact, we will invite you into our members Discord, which is a lot of fun. So as soon as you sign up as a member, well, not the minute because we're live.
I'll manually send you a
Yes.
link to the Discord. It's really great. It's a great way to chat. So you'll really enjoy that, I am sure. No, oh my gosh, that's so funny. No, when I look over here, I'm looking at CNN. The TV's here, okay, guys? I'm not insane. So I wanted to mention when we talk about things that we might potentially cover in the coming days, obviously nobody knows. Anything could happen. We might have these extended, drawn-out legal battles with Trump and his crew and all of that. But one thing that I don't think a lot of people have their eye on right now is the Lincoln Project.
Oh, boy.
The Lincoln Project is something that Pussyhat liberal brunch people have poured millions and millions and millions of dollars into. The Lincoln Project, headed by neocons and losers like Steve Schmidt and George Conway, although George has stepped away to be with poor innocent Claudia.
Somebody needs to call Child Protective Services.
I know, poor Claudia, hashtag save Claudia. So it's a bad organization, and a lot of liberals were fooled by it, and now they have plans to expand into a media network, like a media force, and they have the money now to do it, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They made really no impact in the way that they said they were going to make an impact. So they have successfully grifted these millions of dollars, and their plan is, of course, because anyone with eyeballs and a brain could see what they were going to do, which was plan to get Republicans elected because they're Republicans. Like, hello. So we'll be reporting on those grifters and other grifters that pop up. So there's going to be a lot of really fun topics.
And don't let MSNBC off the hook. The Lincoln Project would have never, ever gotten to the level they were without basically MSNBC giving them a free fucking rent-free to be on MSNBC. Steve Schmidt, Rick Wilson, all of these losers from the Bush administration and warmongers and corporatists, MSNBC basically invited them to sleep in their green rooms every day, and they're on MSNBC all day long. And the funny thing is, they were supposed to get rid of Trump, but also get rid of terrible Republicans. Trump did better among Republicans this time than he did in 2016. I think he got 93% of Republicans. Meanwhile, they were hoarding millions and millions of dollars to like get rid of Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham won, I think, by like 15 points. To get rid of Susan Collins, she won. These are grifters.
Yeah.
Grifters, I say.
Yeah.
But also, I think we're going to have to dig a lot more into the money men and women behind corporate media.
Yes.
We should look into AT&T, which owns CNN. We should look into Comcast, which owns MSNBC. We should look into the blatant conflicts of interest of anchors and journalists, not because we're like Trump and calling them fake news and, we don't want violence or anything, but you'd be really surprised at who it is some of these journalists are dining with and partying with and having over to their Hamptons mansions over the summer. Guess what? It's the politicians they're supposed to be holding accountable. I think a great example, who was it? I think Michael Cohen must have been recording or something. But like Jeff Zucker, the CNN president in 2016, while CNN was literally electing Donald Trump by giving him $3 billion of free television airtime and showing his empty podiums instead of packed Bernie Sanders rallies with 30,000 people. Jeff Zucker, the CNN president, which is a complete lacking of integrity, was literally on the phone with Trump's lawyer pitching him on Trump having a weekly show on CNN during the election of 2016. Yeah, this is holding power to account, literally palling around with power, giving them free airtime, and trying to set up a weekly show on CNN. I mean, there was also tapes where Chris Cuomo was giving Michael Cohen legal advice. They're all pals. This revolving door, they're all pals. I digress.
Yeah, I mean, that Carlin quote cannot be used enough. It's a big club and you're not in it. That's truly, truly just what it is. That's exactly what it is. So many super chats. I'm still copying and pasting.
You know another thing I want to talk about?
Oh my gosh, what?
We got to get rid of fucking Nancy Pelosi.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, she's running again, of course, for...
First of all, I don't want to be ageist, but at a certain point,
Well, she's like...
can you just send Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, and these fucking dinosaurs home? And honestly,
She's a freaking
I don't
crypt
think...
keeper.
Honestly, at a certain point, I would say, you know, Bernie's going to turn 80 next year, right?
Bernie.
I love Bernie. He could stay as long as he wants because he's actually fighting for the American people. But Dianne Feinstein, during these Amy Coney Barrett hearings, sometimes it didn't even seem like she knew where she was. Nancy Pelosi, who is indignant when anyone challenges her strategy or anything, she like lunges at journalists for the audacity to challenge her. She's supposed to be this master legislator. She's the speaker. It was her strategy that lost Democrats seats in the House 3 days ago. Remember, the Democrats thought they were going to have a tsunami and widen their majority? The Republicans gained seats. Frankly, I think because Nancy Pelosi, pure politics, refused to accept the deal that Trump offered. I don't think it was the best deal. But you want to know something? At a certain point, take something. We haven't had the $600 unemployment that unemployed people are desperately relying on expired in July. Pelosi got a $1.8 trillion offer. She wouldn't accept it because she wants $2.2 trillion. At a certain point, it's clear your goal is to not accept it because you don't want to give the president any points on the board or anything that he could brag about before the election. So why does this person keep continually getting elected speaker when under her we're losing seats? The only reason we won in 2018, the Democrats won the House of Representatives, wasn't because of her. It was because of Trump. Wow. The Supreme Court orders Pennsylvania to separate ballots received after Election Day. Can I say something, John? Was there a fellow, breaking news by the way, the Supreme Court orders Pennsylvania to separate ballots received after Election Day. Was there a fella yesterday live? Was there a fella yesterday live in the middle of Reading Terminal Market who said, I have a gut feeling that the Supreme Court, before Pennsylvania could be called for Joe Biden, hence before the election could be called, that the Supreme Court was going to step in and try to stop the counting of the ballots? Was there somebody who said that?
Yes. Someone so smart. I cannot even,
Well,
like,
Can't think of the name.
it's hard to be in such a person's presence.
Well, the Supreme Court has stepped in and ordered Pennsylvania to separate ballots received after Election Day. The steel is on. The steel is on, folks. Now, Michael, good question. Separate isn't the same as ignore. Michael, do you live in America? Oh, no, I think you don't live in
No,
America.
he actually lives in Germany.
Let me explain something to you about the Supreme Court. Let me explain something to you about the Supreme Court, okay? The Supreme Court is not a court. It's a second Republican Party. Yeah, maybe technically they're saying separate them, don't discard them. But what this is going to do is it's going to end up discarding a lot of ballots. I don't know if it will make the difference for Trump. Biden right now is up by just 19,584 ballots in Pennsylvania. But by the Supreme Court saying separate the ballots that came in after Election Day, to me, that is setting up them to toss those ballots. Even if those ballots were postmarked by Election Day, I think the Supreme Court is setting up a potential way of tossing those ballots or refusing enough of those ballots to make a difference. And why this is so critical, maybe we should change the headline of this too.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking to that. Why this is so critical.
I can't steal their Chiron.
Change a word. It'll be all right.
Okay.
Why this is so critical is before Election Day. If you remember, if you're living in Pennsylvania, you know this. The Pennsylvania Republican Party, well, let me start from the beginning. The Republican legislature in Pennsylvania, Republicans control the House, the Senate in Pennsylvania, and the Democratic governor, they came to an agreement that ballots, you'd be able in Pennsylvania to count the ballots for 3 days after the election, the mail-in ballots in particular. The Republican Party of Pennsylvania did not want that. So they went to the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, and the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania refused the Republican Party of Pennsylvania's wishes, which was the Pennsylvania Republican Party wanted those ballots not to be able to be counted after Election Day. So then it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court opted not to do anything about it, basically to allow the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's ruling to allow the ballots to stand for to be counted for 3 days. Supreme Court basically dodged. They didn't decide, but they didn't say yes or no. They just said, for now, we're going to let the state Supreme Court ruling stand. But I think it was Kavanaugh, maybe one of the Republicans said, oh no, it was Alito. Alito said, this is subject to review, meaning it can be reviewed after the election. Well, that's what you're getting. It's being reviewed after the election. And that's why the Supreme Court has stepped in to separate the ballots that were received in Pennsylvania after Election Day. I don't know, Jen. In my experience here in the United Corporations of America, when the Supreme Court steps in on presidential elections, it's usually not a good thing for democracy.
No. You keep talking. I'm thinking of a thingy.
Okay. So, damn it. Where's Colin when you need him? I want him to cut this.
Yeah.
That I told you so. I told you so. And they're stepping in to separate the ballots that were received after Election Day, basically on the brink of Joe Biden being declared the winner in Pennsylvania. And I don't really know how Joe Biden could be technically declared the winner in Pennsylvania if they're separating potentially hundreds of thousands of ballots that would count for Joe Biden. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. LOL, Jordan does talk a lot. Do I? Well, she just told me to keep talking because she was switching the headline. So could you see if there's any articles about this?
Yeah.
So we can get more information?
I don't know. Yeah, you do this part.
Okay.
I don't want to do it. I'll read some super chats while he does the headline. You guys have really kept these super chats going. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Maker of Things, $5 in the super chat. Jen, can you do a shirt of yourself juxtaposed as a Mona Lisa painting, cracking a smile and holding a coup microphone? And a similar Jordan option and t-shirt. You guys are so funny. You're always saying I look like Mona Lisa. You know, I went to France when I was 15 with the French club, and I was so, like, the only thing I wanted to see was the Louvre, and it was closed. Like, what the hell? Horrible.
Welcome new Status Coup member, Keith. Woohoo! That's Keith, Jess, Zach, Esther, Jay, Jamel, Samantha, Martin. We are now 14 members away from hitting 1,700. So let me read to you, and thank you so much, Keith. We want some more of you to sign up. Statuscoup.com/join. This is how we grow for the long haul. So let me read to you what it is that the Supreme Court just did. So this was a couple hours ago that Pennsylvania Republicans asked the Supreme Court to enforce the separation of late arriving ballots. Republicans in Pennsylvania are asking the U.S. Supreme Court to issue an order requiring local officials to separate out late arriving ballots and leave them uncounted until the legal controversy over them is resolved. In the first election-related dispute to reach the high court since Election Day, the Pennsylvania Republican Party asked the justices to step in to make sure that officials can identify those ballots if the Supreme Court eventually rules that the ballots are invalid. This is what I said was going to happen, and now it's happening. Lawyers for the GOP filed the request Friday, despite Pennsylvania Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar telling election officials and the High Court last month that such ballots would be kept separate from those that came in on or before Election Day. Quote, given the results of the November 3rd general election, the vote in Pennsylvania may well determine the next president of the United States. And it is currently unclear whether all 67 county board of elections are segregating late arriving ballots, the GOP filing said. Brockvar said Thursday that the late arriving ballots are being separated and have not been counted yet. However, she did not pledge that they would not be counted once officials finish their work on the earlier ballots. Brockvar also said that she believes the number of late arriving ballots is likely to be small due to extensive publicity in advance of the election about the legal controversy and about postal delays. So, yeah, now we're getting more. The U.S. Supreme Court issues an order saying ballots that arrived after Election Day in Pennsylvania must be segregating, but the counting of votes can continue. So, yeah, I don't really know.
Well, what else? Oh.
Yeah, so this is U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito issues temporary order requiring Pennsylvania to segregate ballots that arrived after Election Day. To me, what this is, because they could say you could keep counting, but basically they're trying to separate these ballots, which I don't know how many of them there are. The Secretary of State says they're a relatively small number. They're trying to separate this to set up a situation where the Supreme Court could rule that they can't be counted. So technically, if they're saying, according to this journalist, who is this?
This is it's not like a source you want to use.
Yeah. So again,
it's OAN.
I don't know if they're separating them, meaning you can't count them now. Maybe we could figure that out. But I don't know if they're separating them where you can't count them.
No, you can count the ones that came before, but not after.
Yeah, can we find out if these that are being separated can't be counted?
Here, you type that, and I'll find.
Hold on, folks. We're doing this on the fly.
Doing it on the fly. Let's see. Pennsylvania. In the meantime, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, which we're actually pretty close to.
You know, when you talk to the wall instead of the mic, people can't hear you?
They can hear me.
I don't think they can hear you.
They can hear me.
I don't think so.
You guys can hear me. I know you can.
But why this is important is, to me, they were about to call it for Biden possibly within the hour or two because they're running out of ballots and Biden's lead in Pennsylvania is just under 20,000. So if they're saying separate the ballots, my assumption is if they're telling you to separate the ballots, hold on. NBC's Pete William reports the Supreme Court has issued an order in Pennsylvania in the Pennsylvania case, but it's not what Republicans wanted. Justice Alito repeats the guidance that post-Tuesday mail ballots must be segregated, but it doesn't direct them to stop counting. So, okay, but I do think this is a win for the Republicans because technically, even though they could be technically could be counted now, that doesn't mean, basically to me, their Supreme Court is saying they could be separated now because the Supreme Court, or subject to review of the ballots, subject to waiting to see if the Supreme Court allows the ballots to stand. That's how my interpretation of it. Because the Supreme Court before the election said, for now, we are going to let the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, their ruling to allow the counting of the ballots for 3 days after Election Day to rule. But it was subject to the Supreme Court's review after the election. So that's what I think is going on here. They're technically saying you could continue voting now, counting now, but these need to be separated for us to ultimately decide if we'll allow these ballots that came after Election Day. Frankly, if the Supreme Court decides not to allow these ballots from after Election Day, Biden's probably not going to win Pennsylvania.
So this is interesting because we have these two things happening at once here. So we have this brand new information coming in at the same time, or maybe slightly before things are kind of being leaked to the media. And the way that we know that's happening is because articles were coming out as of about an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, saying that Trump is starting to be prepared for losing. So Politico came out with an article with the headline, "My sense is that we lost. Trump campaign aides grapple with dwindling odds." Articles like that are coming out in outlets like Wall Street Journal and on. So we'll see kind of what the media narrative looks like now that this information about the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania has come in.
Yeah, so that's Jim Acosta, who I don't like, but whatever. He's reporting Trump is starting to acknowledge to advisors he may not be able to pull out a come-from-behind victory. Sources describe Trump as sounding more realistic as returns show Biden's leads increasing. Doesn't mean he's given up. A source adds. Sources went on to say the picture is becoming clear to Trump team that without wins in Georgia and Arizona, it would be difficult to mount legal challenges in Pennsylvania. Courts will not want to hear challenges if Trump lacks a viable path to 270 electoral college votes. What would be the point, a source said. So that's a good point. So if Trump doesn't pull it out in Georgia and Arizona, which right now, Georgia is going to be a recount, I think. Arizona, he is still 36,000 votes behind. So really, if Trump doesn't pull it out in Arizona and Nevada, it doesn't particularly matter what the Supreme Court does, because Trump needs to win Arizona and Nevada to have a path. So, to victory, that is. Oh, no, excuse me. He needs to win Georgia and Arizona to have a path. Right now, he's down in Georgia by 4,000 votes, and he's down in Arizona by 36,000 votes. Arizona does have a good chunk of votes left to be reported. So, yeah, we just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Certainly the Trump crowd is pushing this information all around. Corey Lewandowski proudly sharing the information about Alito. Alito's ruling here. So let me get through some of your incredible super chats, which you guys have been consistently sending us, which we love. Connie and the Sun, $5 in the super chat. I love that username. Thank you, Status Coup, for your feet on the ground journalism. Love from Florida. Thank you, Connie. Thomas Horder, 99 cents. Thank you, Thomas. Levon Huey, $4.99 in the super chat. No brunch until we get brunch. No sleep until we get sleep. That's for damn sure. Carlos, $5 in the super chat. I'm a Bernie guy and voted Green, but to me, they cheated Trump. I know people who voted 2 times. Carlos, I would say if you have proof that people voted 2 times, you should report that. Absolutely. Report that.
Can I ask you, Carlos? And I'm not like, this is not to go after you, but I focus on words. When you say they cheated Trump, who's they? Seriously, who's they? Is there like an organized conspiracy in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and they're all doing the same thing, like tossing ballots or having people that are dead vote. I just don't understand who the they is. If the Republicans, if it was focused on one state and they had maybe 3 examples, I'd entertain it. But they're talking they're talking multiple states. They're talking about multiple states where there's dead people voting and our observers aren't able to look and machine glitches. Yes, there might be a machine glitch in one county. That doesn't mean the entire election has been stolen. It just doesn't make sense. And what I don't understand is, like, none of these people were saying this when Trump won in 2016. So is suddenly that election was totally 100% normal because their guy won, but this one, because their guy is losing, there's a secret conspiratorial cabal to take him out. I just find it hard to really entertain it. And I tried yesterday when I was interviewing Trump supporters, even the one who was kind of a nice guy, reasonable, to entertain it, but none of them could cite anything. They literally were telling me, yeah, I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, I see a lot of things on Twitter. It doesn't make them true. So, yeah. But I will say about the Supreme Court thing, I don't know whoever said this isn't what the Republicans wanted. Just because they're allowing the votes to be counted now, if the Supreme Court is getting involved in any capacity, and they are telling Pennsylvania to separate the ballots that came in after the election, which supposedly the Secretary of State says they were already doing, but I guess the Supreme Court doesn't think they were. I don't know. But if the Supreme Court is getting involved now, maybe right now they're not saying stop the count. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of 2000. The Supreme Court didn't right out of the gate say, no, the vote has to count, and we're tossing these ballots. It was kind of a slow step-by-step process, if you remember. So the fact that they're saying to separate ballots, to me, they're saying to separate the ballots because the Supreme Court is now going to decide legally if those ballots that were received after the election should count. And if you think a 6-3 Supreme Court with 3 out of the 6 Republicans who worked on George W. Bush's 2000 recount as his lawyers, one of many lawyers, if you think they're going to vote in favor of counting ballots and making sure ballots that received after the election stick, I have a bridge to sell you. I have a bridge to sell you. Speaking of, we're 14 members away from 1,700.
Whoa.
Keep signing up. Keep signing up. Statuscoup.com/join. We have more names to drop. We have more dirt to dish. Keep it coming.
We do. We definitely do.
Statuscoup.com/join. Thank you for the GoFundMe, by the way, anonymous, $25. So, yeah, keep them coming. GoFundMe, Super Chat, and, of course, membership. And please, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel. We just passed 94,000 subscribers today. I'm starting to sniff it, Jen. Are you starting to sniff it?
Like
100,000?
Oh, yeah.
We're less than 6,000 to go.
I thought you were going to say like the end of the America or something.
Well, no, I've been smelling the end of America for years. I'm talking about 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, well, that's better. So, yeah, totally.
Sources: Trump unhappy with legal team, vowing more action. So I guess that's different than the other guy. So one CNN reporter says Trump's starting to see Jesus, and he's starting to come to terms with losing.
Great.
This other one is saying Trump unhappy with legal team, vowing more action. Can you imagine Trump? You're fired, Rudy. You're fired, Rudy.
Oh,
because that's
my
his
God.
legal team. Rudy Giuliani
Rudy would
is
be
his legal team.
so sad. That's right.
What would Rudy do?
His only legal team. I want to know what Roger Stone is doing. Like, I feel like Roger could fix this for him. Dave Wasserman, who is great. He's really, really someone I like. Well, I don't know if he's great. Like, he's good at this thing. Updated Allegheny County totals in Pennsylvania pushed Biden's lead up to 19.3% and climbing with 680,000 ballots counted there. In 2016, Clinton won Allegheny by 16.4%. So again, Biden's lead is 19.3% as of now. And the only part of Pennsylvania where Biden will likely decline from Hillary is Philadelphia, interestingly, which Jordan was actually talking about before the election. where like African American support was.
Yeah,
An
Donald
issue.
Trump. It should embarrass Democrats, but they don't seem to care because they're courting Republicans instead of black people and Latinos. In 2016, Donald Trump got 8% of the black vote. He got 12% this time. That might not seem like a lot, 4% more. This is Donald Trump. He got 12% of the black vote. I'm not blaming black voters. I'm blaming the Democratic Party. Donald Trump was successful he did one thing that was somewhat decent, the First Step Act. He did give some more money to HBCUs, historically black colleges. Other than that, he's been a racist, dog-whistling racist. And he has gone at it with Black Lives Matter. He doesn't give a damn about the black man being executed all over America. And Trump also, in 2016, got 28% among Latinos. This time, he got 32%. So you tell me, while the Democratic Party was playing footsie with John Kasich, Colin Powell, the Lincoln Project, and selling itself to Republicans, they lost 4% among black voters and 4% among Latinos. I don't know. I don't really think it's that healthy for a political party to be prostituting itself to try and grow more Republicans, while basically they did some black outreach. Biden's campaign, his outreach to Latinos was laughable by all the reporting. Chuck Rocha, who did Latino strategy for Bernie crushed among Latinos. Credit to Chuck Rocha, said it was a joke. It was a joke what they were their outreach to Latinos. Speaking of the Biden campaign, so yeah, bravo, we got more Republicans. Meanwhile, in Texas, I just saw an article today that Hispanics were why Donald Trump won in Texas. Hispanics. It does not bode well for the future.
Yes, bubbly's good. I'll tell you the story about the bubbly. When John and I were in California and staying with Tina in LA, Tina like stocks her fridge like crazy with bubbly, so we got addicted to it. It's good, delicious. Trump, this absolute maniac. So I've told you guys like I'm signed up to the text list so I can keep an eye on what's going on. I'm also signed up to the email list. In the last hour, I've gotten 3 insane emails from the Trump campaign, like talking about fake news and real patriots, madness, 4 more years, Democrats stealing the election, just absolute insanity, like fighting and this like crazy photoshopped picture of Biden, just crazy. So they've lost their minds if they ever had them. And this is, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, at this point, we know that Biden has won. I think it's just a matter of how far the Republicans are going to take this.
And let's be honest for a second. Donald Trump, according to his taxes, owes somebody about $400 million. You think this money they're asking for to fight the theft of the election, they're probably pouring in money right now from God knows who is donating to fight the stolen election. I wonder how much of that money is going in to close the gap on Donald Trump's debt. And I don't think he owes $400 million to Russia. I think most of that money is owed to the Russian mafia and Saudi Arabia. Excuse my accent.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but Trump is reportedly unhappy with his legal team. Apparently, he's going to fire Rudy and hire Meatloaf.
Rudy.
And hire Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. You never know. You never know. Darius, $4.99 in the super chat. Status Quo's election coverage has been the best this week. Thank you, Darius. That's wonderful of you. And
Darius, let me ask you a question. I have a proposition for you, Darius. Not to point
boy.
you specifically out, but Darius, you just left $5 in the super chat. Maybe you could sign up as a member for $5 a month.
that's a great idea.
We appreciate your super
Yeah.
chat, but maybe you could afford to do that every month as a member. That's how we grow for the long term. We love the super chats, but membership is our model for the long term, because having that stable revenue, not just super chats, but a growing paid subscriber list, that's how we grow for the long haul. So consider it, Darius and everybody else. We're right now 14 members away from hitting 1,700. Boy, would we love to hit 1,700 before we leave Philadelphia.
And you get some great premium content for joining. You get behind the scenes reporting, behind the scenes photos and videos. We have some funny behind the scenes stuff from this trip. We have some like more serious stuff, like our reaction to our fascist leader Trump coming out and declaring victory on election night. We have that reaction, live and unfiltered, and a lot more, including the Discord chat where we go back and forth and we really have a good time on that chat. And Ask Me Anything calls, all that. Statuscoup.com/join. It really adds up. We're trying to get to 2,000 members, so it's good. Jess, who just became a member, $5 in the super chat. So happy to have joined. My boyfriend and I watch you all the time. Please keep up the great work you do. Thank you for joining. We welcome you. We're so happy you are here. Awesome.
And by the way, thank you for joining us. If you are a couple with a dog, you can now go to Status Coup's store and order your dog hoodie for this coming winter.
It's so cute.
I can't wait till my parents' dog, gets his Status Coup hoodie.
Aw, he's still your dog.
That's true. Just saying, for those canine lovers out there, you could go to statuscoup.com/store, get your dog hoodie, get your own person hoodie, get your pillowcase, get your phone cover, get your Status Coup poster, get your Status Coup fanny pack. I mean, it's everywhere. The Status Coup store is where it's at. Just saying.
Totally. Statuscoup.com/store. It's just the place to be. Thomas Hoarder, $2 in the super chat. Truth. It's hard to hear, but it never leaves. Absolutely. I agree. Faint signals from Vega, 10 Australian dollars. I think you're from Tasmania, you said, yeah? Jordan, have you thought about putting together the excerpts where you all talk about the slander? One a couple of weeks ago with Jen and Tina driving. It would help counteract online slanders posts. Well, I don't want to put out, have a blog, just talking shit about people.
I would love to. I would love to have a blog talking shit on people.
No.
Wait, you, what is she talking about, Tina, and you were driving and what?
I don't remember why, but there was a specific reason.
Oh, yeah. I tweeted about Section 230 and all that.
Yeah.
And you talked about it.
Yeah. And then Tina and I addressed it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe if Jen lets me.
I don't know. I think no.
Silence is violence. I still like the idea of a status poo underwear or thong.
Oh,
I
God.
fucking
Absolutely
love that.
not.
Status poo underwear? I don't know about the thong. I don't think I could pull that off. But status poo tighty whities as status poo? That might be the cure for my constipation right there. Colin, are you watching? Can you design that?
No. Can you design that? What's it going to do? Hand sew them at home? Teespring doesn't sell underwear.
Status poo, status poo.
If they did design underwear, then why not? But they don't. So
is it acceptable to start drinking? I mean, when are they going to call this election? I'm just sick of it.
You can start drinking whenever you want.
Nah, I don't think it's professional on camera.
Well, they don't care.
Nah.
What are they going to do to you?
Nah.
It's the election. They drink on freaking Don Lemon on New Year's.
That's a good one. Status Coup Brazier.
Oh my God! Absolutely not. Can you imagine?
Do women not have to wear bras? It's a piece of clothing.
Actually, they do not have to wear bras.
Let me refrain. PC. If women choose to wear braziers, can they not say status quo on them?
Braziers.
What is wrong with that?
I don't.
Who would see them?
That's a good point. Who would see them? Well, you wouldn't see status poo on the underwear either.
Oh, okay. So, I don't Teespring once again doesn't sell those things if they. Okay. So anyway, Don King gets shit-faced on CNN every New Year's and gets naked in kiddie
That's
pools.
Anderson Cooper.
No, it's Don Lemon.
By the way, can I just say, and I know people aren't gonna, I can't fucking stand Don Lemon.
Oh
my God.
Anderson Cooper gets super drunk with Andy. It's cute.
Don
It's
Lemon.
So cute.
Don Lemon is such.
I want Anderson and Andy to get together. I think they're so cute.
Don Lemon is such. He's just so full of shit.
I hate Don Lemon.
I can't stand
terrible. He's the worst.
I thought Anderson Cooper and Andy from what's that guy? What's that show from?
Andy Cohen. He's not.
I thought
he's
they
a
were an
producer.
item.
No, they're best friends.
Didn't they both just have children at the same time?
Well, like Andy had a surrogate first, and then Anderson did. But Anderson was with like a nightclub owner for a long time. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean Dunking. I meant Don Lemon. And then Anderson decided to.
You know,
together.
I really can't stand actually. If we're just going in, Chris Cuomo. Oh my God, what a fake tough guy, and you know.
Andy got in trouble from his
Oh,
apartment.
let's get after it as I throw softballs to politicians and have my criminal brother on who killed over 6,000 old people in a nursing home to stick a thing up his nose. Ugh. It's just disgusting.
And then when he and Don Lemon have their stupid chats, I just want to barf.
Now
all over
people
the
are
TV.
talking. I support the status boob offshoot.
All right, fine. We'll have
Status
bras.
poo, status boob.
If someone wants to make bras and underwear, like, fine, I don't care. They just don't sell it on.
Now people are getting into Jeffrey Toobin and Zoom.
Jeffrey Toobin.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
It's not going to be popular.
Oh, okay. Well, think about it before you say it then.
First of all,
I'm a little
First
worried.
of all,
Anant, what's he going to say?
First of all,
Anant, help.
I don't care about
Anant,
Jeffrey Toobin. He's kind of like an elitist
Anant,
jerk
help.
off. But it sounded to me like it was an accident.
Oh my God, Anant.
No, it sounds to me like it was an accident. But this is a new normal. We're all working from home, and you gotta, do it on the other computer, not your work computer, man. I'm just saying.
Okay, he was on a work call, so.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
By the way, this
yeah.
is me without any booze. I haven't drank anything yet.
Okay, so he was on a work call and they were just taking like a little break. So I think probably not a good idea.
True. By the way, when are we getting another member sign up? Sign up. Statuscoup.com/join. Statuscoup.com/join. All right. So let's take some questions, comments, concerns.
We have some more things.
Oh, okay.
Me too. Hashtag me too.
Oh, somebody said bad take, bro. Listen, I just, I don't think like they were making it seem like he's a predator. I just feel like, no, you shouldn't do that during the work day on your computer. But do I think like he should lose his job over it? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't like. It's not like he like whipped it out. Like he didn't pull. What's his name? What's his name?
Okay, Jordan, keep your hands above the desk.
Jordan's not tipsy. He has.
I'm not tipsy. I haven't had anything.
He hasn't been drinking. I promise. The elections made us insane. Louis C.K. He didn't pull a Louis C.K.
No, that guy should be thrown to the dustbin.
I mean, he's fucking hilarious, but yeah.
I never really thought Louis C.K. was that funny.
He's so funny.
My top 5, Larry David, Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers is the funniest for sure.
Chris Rock, Jim Carrey.
I know, Jessica, like, he clearly didn't have the details. He's stupid.
What are you talking about? Oh, about Jeffrey?
Yeah, they're saying bad call.
Oh, man, okay. Whatever.
I don't think Jordan didn't know the details. He was, just forget him. Yeah, like, clearly that was bad. But I think, like, so if we're talking about, like people who, Louis C.K., it was right that he got swept away during that. He's clearly fine. Like, he's making his comeback. But people like Aziz Ansari, that story was ridiculous. Like, if you're going to a guy's apartment and, like, drinking and then just, like, hanging around naked, what's he gonna think? Like, and you're hooking up. And then later you're like, oh, I didn't want to hook up. No, that's ridiculous. So Aziz should still have a career. Louis C.K. should not.
Aziz has a career still, I think.
But he's not back where he was.
Right.
He got really, it was unfair.
I agree.
Totally unfair.
I agree.
So that whole era was a mess. Hopefully we've all learned. Let's see. Arthur Handy. $5 in the super chat. Love Status Coup. Keep up the great work. Why, again, do you think Kim Iverson is a grifter? I like some of her content. Okay, this is my favorite topic. So let me get ready. Okay, Kim Iverson. Let's look at the facts. The facts are, she came out of nowhere. I know she was like a radio host or whatever. A lot of men find her attractive. She came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, her channel takes off like crazy, like I've never seen before. The Hill is another example, like Crystal and Sagar. They took off like crazy, but they're attached to a corporate ownership. They're attached to the Hill. So that makes sense. Kim's channel doesn't make sense. I don't have any facts to back up why her channel took off so quickly.
You're like the Trump supporter. Fraud! But I don't know the facts.
That's true. That's true. So, that's one thing. The other thing is, she's racist. I do have screenshots. I'm not going to go find them because she's not worth my time. But she's deleted all of her, well, she's deleted her Twitter account several times. But, I shouldn't say several, I should say a couple. But she said incredibly racist, horrible things. And she comes often from a technically right-wing viewpoint wrapped in a progressive viewpoint as a way of what seems to me to be a way of attracting progressives and attracting leftists.
I think she's got a lot of Michael Tracy in her.
And swaying them to the right. So she seems to me to be a propagandist and a racist. And I'm not going to leave Kim alone, Wendy. She's bad.
So
she is racist. I can show you the screenshots.
Well,
she's racist.
Jordan's
gone back and forth with her.
I went at it with her on Twitter because she was basically saying things like institutional racism isn't a thing, and racism isn't the country's biggest problem, and blah 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 blah, and just basically very much whether she was intentionally being racist or just is totally out of touch with reality, she was basically making it seem like class is the only issue and racism isn't a real thing. So I told her, well, you know, maybe you want to take a trip with me to Flint, Michigan and the many other places I go to. Yes, I think class and race are very, very connected. But racism is a huge problem in this country. Honestly, it's been baked into this country since the beginning. Ask the Native Americans before the black people. And she just said a lot of things that were very, very, to me, I don't know if she as a person is racist, but the things she was saying were very, very racist. Secondly, to be clear, I don't have evidence of this, so to be clear, it's just my opinion. But as somebody who's been on YouTube for a pretty damn long time and knows how YouTube works, I don't know anyone that grew as fast as she grew without buying followers or buying subscribers. To be clear, I don't have evidence that she did that, but watching how quickly she grew, nobody grows on YouTube that quickly. The only people that I know are growing that quickly, and frankly, I think she grew quicker than The Hill grew with Crystal and Sagar. Well, The Hill with Crystal and Sagar makes sense to me why it's growing that quickly. A, I think they're great, but B, when you are on a platform that's corporate media, even though The Hill, credit to them, is letting Crystal and Sagar say what they want to say, be who they are, and they're not censoring them, which is great. But just in YouTube's algorithm, it elevates corporate outlets, and corporate outlets grow a lot quicker. So Crystal and Sagar growing as quickly as they are isn't surprising to me. Kim Iverson, I think she got to 200,000 subscribers in 3 or 4 months. That's very abnormal on YouTube unless you're somehow buying subscribers or not organic things. But to me, you know, I don't wish her anything negative. I just think the things I've seen her write on Twitter are, and this is the problem with a lot of people who never leave the studio and don't actually go out into the country to see what's happening. Not everybody can go out into the country. Not everybody has a stomach for it. not everybody wants to be in the trenches. I can tell you most people at the Young Turks, I remember Anna once was like, sometimes I think about wanting to actually be a reporter and go out there, and then I see you freezing in North Dakota, and I think better.
Oh, dear.
She said that to me once. So, bottom line, I think she's detached from reality, and I've seen a bunch of videos that are just crackpot conspiracy nonsense. So, that's my thoughts on her.
Bo, does she really have an OnlyFans? Are you kidding? I really do want to know. Also, Bo, there's something else that you said that I want to know.
And by the way, just because we're saying these things, you're free to like whoever you want. This is just our impressions and whatever. But if something that Kim does speaks to you, more power to you.
Yeah, and I'm happy to show you the screenshots. Like, join as a member, and I'll pop them right in. I'm happy to show you. Like, if someone's a racist person, I'm going to call them out. It's disgusting.
And I find it. I'm a white person, so I don't want to speak for black people. But I think she said she was a person of color when I called her out.
Well, she's part Asian.
I don't know what she is, but I said to her, for somebody who's not black to say, racism's not really the biggest problem, and it's like she said things like it's a distraction. That it might not be like Trump level racism, but that is so out of touch with reality that it's offensive. I'm offended as a white person, so I can only imagine black people seeing people like Kim Iverson say those things. And she does have the screenshots, and I fought with her on Twitter about it. So I could tell you, Flint would have clean water 6.5 years later if they weren't black. They probably would have clean water 6 months later if they were upper middle class. If they were wealthy, they would have had clean water, period, because it would have never happened to them. So that is racism. Black Lives Matter, they're fighting literally for their lives. So that's not class, that's race. So yeah, I have a problem with her.
Yeah, and to be clear, if Kim Iverson wants to it's not about having a difference of opinion. It's not about jealousy that her channel took off, whatever. It's about the racism. It's about putting that out into the world. It's about sucking people into that and being disingenuous, and that is what I have an issue with. Like, everybody that I brought up, there's a damn good reason. I don't dislike people for no reason. Everyone who knows me, I think, would say I'm a nice person. I usually get along with people. I am not mean-spirited. But if you fuck with me or someone that I care about, you're a goner. So, there we go.
And Wendy Melly, we love you. But I disagree when you say it's beneath us to speak the truth about certain people. I don't think so. We're not for fun, just ranting on people. People asked us to name names, so we're pointing out certain people that we think are full of shit, or worse than full of shit. You don't have to like it, but that's our opinion. So, and those people are free to say whatever they want about us. But I do think it's important because I think in media, particularly independent, progressive media, there's a lot of folks who follow people that are actively telling them lies. And I think that's dangerous. Obviously, viewers are smart enough to decide for themselves who's telling them the truth, whatever. But I hate to see people, particularly people in my audience who I think are really well-informed for the most part, get suckered in by certain people that are just either intentionally or unintentionally just talking a bunch of nonsense. Simon Carr, £5. Hi, Jordan and Mona Lisa.
You guys are funny.
Do you think Bill Hicks was funny? Love and support from the UK.
Bill Hicks, you mean Alex Jones?
Who's Bill Hicks?
Just kidding. He's a comedian who conspiracy theorists say is Alex Jones. I
don't know Bill Hicks, so I'll have to tell you after I've seen him.
I'll tell you.
Carlos, $5. Jen, I'm not sending to jail. Jordan, they Dems. Josh Shapiro, PA Attorney General, called for Biden before Election Day. I hope you're not sending me to jail.
What?
I don't know what the rest of the comment meant. But thanks for the super chat.
I didn't even see that one. Where is that?
Smeary, $2. What did Hard Lens Media do? Do we really want to get into that? I don't even want to give them the attention.
No, I don't want to give them attention. So, okay, so here's the short of it. Back when there was a terrible group of people who aimed to take Jordan and his journalism down. There was this jealous media group called Hard Lens Media, who is still around today. And the now disbanded Truth Against the Machine, which I was a part of, they decided to...
Some people might not know what that means.
Yeah, so it was a nonprofit, just had like volunteers like film local stuff and it was like citizen reporters basically. And Hard Lens Media, like right as it was basically being disbanded, they decided as part of like this takedown to make up everything about basically saying like Truth Against the Machine was misusing funds because it was, people would donate and help fund the reporting. And so they made up literally everything and said that Truth Against the Machine was like shady and like operating in darkness.
I.e. Jordan.
Yeah. So this was part of the attempted takedown of Jordan. Like I have very meticulously saved every single thing from this era. So these people are on my shit list forever.
Well, to be clear, it wasn't like, I don't know who's there now, so I can't speak to any person who is on that channel. I could speak to a few of them. To be honest with you, I don't remember all their names. But they did this, like, they presented it as an investigation into our finances at Truth Against the Machine. I had Truth Against the Machine when I was at the Young Turks. It was a separate nonprofit. We honestly didn't even raise that much money. But they did this investigation with no access to our money, like none.
None at all.
Like they had no access to our account. They had no access to even see what we spent money on. And they basically used as their sources several people that I fired because they were crazy people.
Like the most insane people.
So they used as an example, like one example of me misusing funds, that we had one weekend, we flew people in from around the country who were basically like volunteer reporters to do a training, to do like a weekend training, but also to hang out, get to know each other.
The worst idea I've ever had in my life.
So we went out to dinner by my apartment at the time, a Mexican restaurant, and the dinner was paid for by Truth Against the Machine on the company. But I also got everybody a round of drinks that if they would have reached out to me, I could have easily showed them. I paid personally on my personal credit card. Mm-hmm. I didn't put the drinks on Truth Against the Machine. If Ty could tell you, Ty used to work with me at the Young Turks in here. If we ever go out to dinner for Status Coup, if each one, like if a person gets a beer or whatever, that's part of the company dinner. If you want more drinks separately, you got to pay for it yourself because I don't want to be spending our viewers' money on us getting boozed up. I just don't think that's appropriate. So it was stuff like that. Like they made it seem like, oh, Jordan was like buying, 3 rounds of drinks.
And like I bought $200 worth of weed for everybody. And they said that I bought it with Truth Against the Machine funds. These like absolute losers.
So when they reached out to me for comment, I was like, honestly, like I don't mean this to be condescending, but they were young and new to journalism. So I figured maybe they just didn't know how this works. So I'm like, you're reporting like something sinister going on, but you've never asked me to even look at our financial records. I don't know if I would have even let them.
No.
You're listening to people that I fired who have no idea what they're talking about. Like, I could literally show you that the drinks you're talking about were on my credit card. Jordan, I paid for it, not the company. So stuff like that, they made this whole fucking thing that I was like stealing people's money. So again, I don't know everybody there. Maybe there are some people that are better than others, but the ones that did that, you're basically accusing me of screwing people, stealing grassroots money to go buy drinks, shit like that. They made it seem like Jen was buying weed, like you said, with company money. They made it seem like Jen and I were doing like lavish things and like buying personal things for us with company money. It was just that shit.
And this one, this was an insane time. One chick said like we used her as slave labor, and not hard lens. She wasn't with hard lens. One said I assaulted her. Like, it was crazy. These people are insane, and that's the thing about progressive groups sometimes, or progressive people who have never really been part of like a professional organization, or have never organized, or maybe are really young. There's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of backstabbing, and it can get really bad. And we learned a lot of lessons.
Oh, my favorite was they're not feeding us.
Ugh.
Even though we're ordering pizzas for people, bagels. It's like, what do you want us to fucking bring you to the plaza? Like, just shit like that. So yes, Hard Lens did an investigation indicating that we were scamming people's money, buying alcohol, weed, all these things, which literally, if they were responsible journalists, they would have said, hey, we're hearing these allegations. Can you maybe, share with us how, were these things purchased? Was it with company money? Because it could have been explained in 2 minutes. But because they weren't responsible journalists, they ran this ridiculous hit piece. So yeah, I don't have a ton of respect for them. I don't know everybody there, so maybe there are some people there that do good work, but at least my experience, not so good.
Yeah, total hit piece.
So I want to get back to this. Amid election tensions, furious Trump backers demand to know where Bill Barr is and why won't he step in. Pro-Trump characters are fired up, not only alleging the election was stolen away from Trump, but also fuming with grievances over where the hell is Attorney General Bill Barr on what many Republicans are claiming is widespread voter fraud. Naturally, numerous MAGA personalities on Twitter couldn't resist tweeting about the thought of the Department of Justice and especially Barr coming to Trump's rescue. So apparently MAGA is going after Bill Barr right now for not basically being Trump's personal lawyer.
Right.
Which, for once, Bill Barr seems to be doing the right thing, which is not doing anything. There's no there, but they want him to step in and, I guess, help.
These MAGA, they're fair weather friends, man.
And Biden's lead is now up to 22,000 in Pennsylvania. So I got to say, I think it's close to being called. I really do. I really do think it's close to being called.
I'm so uncomfortable with that percentage point. It's pretty scary.
All right. Before we go, because we do need to probably eat again and have a cocktail. We will be live again tonight if they call the race. Any
potentially high. No,
any last minute thoughts?
Well, I do. I still have super chats to read,
and we definitely still have some members to shout out if you sign up as a Status Coup member for as low as $5 a month. Statuscoup.com/join. I promise every live stream won't be this batshit crazy, but we're a little wound up. We've been on the road for a while. I've been on.
I'm very wound up.
Yes, Jen's talking to herself like.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
oh my God! No, I'm not.
Okay.
What? I'm not talking to myself. He's crazy. I am okay. So I'm banned from. Yeah, I am banned from Venmo because I don't know why. So one day I got an email from Venmo saying you've been banned. And so I wrote to customer service like, this must be an error. I have never done anything wrong. What are you talking about? And so they wrote back with this like very serious message, and they were like, we cannot discuss this with you. Your account will not be reinstated. Do not contact us again. Like, it was a very mean email. So
what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I have no idea why.
Sounds fishy.
Like, potentially, it's because I bought weed with Venmo, but I didn't really, because in D.C., weed is legal, but you were not allowed to buy it. You are allowed to receive it as a gift, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was a last minute, like, thing that they threw in, whatever, it's stupid. So what you do is you buy something like a bag, and then you receive as a gift the weed. So with Venmo, shout out to Pink Fox, you buy the bag and then you receive the weed. So I did it. And
So you're a drug addict trying to criminally funnel drugs on Venmo? Is that what's going on?
I mean, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I use Venmo for.
I hope your children aren't watching.
Like, the last thing I actually used Venmo for was I sent Anat money for, like, a salad back in December or something.
Torleaf says, Jen and Jordan, feel free to have a couple drinks with my membership money. You deserve it. Keep up the great work. Oh, that's nice of you. I appreciate it.
Oh my God.
Somebody said, Jordan, stop eating. Just smoke weed. Do you not understand how marijuana works? For me, at least. If I start smoking a lot of weed, I'm going to be ordering every cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
When Jordan smokes, he like sits there and like starts moaning for s'mores for like hours until he receives some sort of, we got another sign up.
Woo-hoo! New Status Coup member, Keith.
Yay!
Wonderful. Oh, you're actually late. I already announced that.
Oh.
You just saw it in your email. But double clap for Keith.
Double clap.
Maybe we can get a couple more members before we go.
That would be exciting. Oh
my God. One America News is celebrating the Supreme Court.
Oh, that's the same news. She's late. There was something I wanted to address. I think it was from Bo. This was back in, so Bo. Mitch Hedberg, yes, thank you so much for bringing up Mitch Hedberg. Rest in peace, Mitch, the funniest ever. So funny.
Who's Mitch?
You've never listened to Mitch Hedberg?
No.
So freaking hilarious. Like the perfect thing to listen to high. He died from drugs, but hilarious.
By the way, Twitter is outraged that I had the audacity to say one of the first things Biden do is stop Julian Assange's extradition. I didn't mean like he shouldn't focus on coronavirus, healthcare, the climate. I just said one of the simple things he should do and can do is just sign a piece of paper saying, no, we don't want Julian Assange, and you should free him from that jail.
He won't.
Yeah, he won't, but he should.
Yeah, definitely. Carlos, $2 to the super chat. Then who buy weed with card? Well, I guess you're saying like I shouldn't buy weed with a card. Well, yeah, clearly.
By the way, weed was just legalized in New Jersey, which might mean New York might want to do it next.
Yeah, I think, and I'm hoping Maryland.
Because I would love to get my father high.
Will you tell that fun story where you had okay.
Yeah. My father accidentally ate some chocolate he shouldn't have. But he doesn't know that.
Oh my God. Okay. You should tell him someday. Carla says $2 in super chat. I was responding from my first super chat. Okay, cool, got it. Alyssa Casanova, $2 in the super chat. Jeff Bezos is trying to buy CNN. Your opinion? I am terrified by that. That really, really scares me. I think nothing good can come of that, and it is taking us down an extremely dark path. Any thoughts to add to that?
I don't really think Jeff Bezos buying CNN would do it wouldn't operate much differently than it already operates.
But he would.
It's not like CNN is doing tough investigations on Jeff Bezos' treachery or Amazon's treachery. I think it would. I mean, CNN's already very, very well resourced and funded anyway, so I just think CNN would continue to run like a propaganda machine, but just with Jeff Bezos making money off of it. I think the real problem is Jeff Bezos needs to be reined in because Amazon is doing illegal things that are not illegal in this country because monopolies are allowed. They're stealing other companies' data. They're illegally surveilling their own workers. That's a scandal in itself. They've surveilled workers trying to unionize. They are illegally trying to stop workers from unionizing with underhanded tactics. Like I said, they take meetings with potential entrepreneurs, companies pretending that they might be interested in selling those entrepreneurs or companies' products on Amazon, and then they just steal the company's blueprint make the same product as a knockoff on Amazon, and then push their new product that they stole from the company on Amazon and knock down the company in their algorithm so that the company's product doesn't sell. That's cheating, and that's a big part of their business. So yeah, Jeff Bezos needs to be reined in. By the way, Jeff Bezos, not that laws apply, Jeff Bezos, frankly, I think it's very clear, illegally was jamming the signals outside his Beverly Hills mansion so that we couldn't broadcast because there was a protest outside his Beverly Hills mansion.
It was creepy.
No problem. Jen and John and others, well, Jen was covering it, but others were marching to Beverly Hills, his mansion.
With
the signal
Christian Smalls.
with Christian Smalls. The signal was fine. Right when you get outside his mansion, it's like Attack of the Drones.
Yeah.
The thing freezes and nobody could stay
A
live.
helicopter, a drone, and no cell would work. The live view wouldn't work.
And that is against FCC, Federal Communications laws. You're not allowed a private person to scramble signals at a home, at a business. No. But laws don't apply because it's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely crazy. Cheryl, Jordan hardly ever drinks, so that's not why he has stomach issues. Jacqueline DeBlue, 50 pounds in the super chat. Caught you at the last minute, apparently. Jen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Nothing. Just saying. Also, accidentally, Jordan. I guess with your dad.
Oh.
I just thought about this while he was talking. I'm not. There is nothing wrong with talking to yourself. But I actually have not been talking to myself. There's a difference between talking to yourself and me talking to you and you not listening.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
It is true.
That's true.
Like, I'll tell Jordan, like, breaking news or something, and he'll nod and, like, okay. And then, like, later on, he'll be like, oh, did you see this? And I'm like, yeah, like, I told you about that 20 minutes ago.
Well, I'm on Twitter surfing the news and publishing videos and doing other things, so you might be talking to me while I'm busy, so I'm not purposely ignoring you. But then I turn around and you're talking, and you're looking in front of yourself talking, so it looks like you're talking.
Crazy?
It looks like you're talking to
I
yourself.
am not talking to myself. You've lost your mind.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for the 50 pounds. We love you. We love you. We love you. I'll tell you, Jacqueline, once this coronavirus is over, I'm going to London anyway, so I hope to meet you one day because you've just been incredible, just a real treasure of support to Status Coup. We really appreciate it.
I want to play with Jacqueline's cats.
Yes.
So many cool super chats. Maker of things. Telling you, Mona Lisa styled t-shirt, Jen. I love it. I think that's a great thing. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Yeah, I think maybe I have gotten through. Let's see. Submarine 9.99 in the super chat. Love y'all's work. How do you feel about crypto doing far better than stock market? That is not my area. I don't know anything about either of those things.
I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more about crypto. I really don't. So if there is a viewer who could explain it like a dumbass to me, then I'd be interested in it. Oh, Trump is closing the gap a little more in Arizona.
But Delaware County just gave some more Pennsylvania results, so now Biden has an over 20,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah, so honestly, we could be wrong, but it's 9 o'clock Eastern now. I would really be surprised if they don't call Pennsylvania tonight for Biden. I don't know at this point why they're not, because there's not enough ballots left that it could even go to Trump. Based on the counties that are remaining to be counted, Trump just doesn't have the votes. I mean, those counties are going overwhelmingly to Biden. But if it does go, to him tonight, we'll be live.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Maker of things, $5 in the super chat. The stock market is a graph of billionaire feelings. It's an easy way to track our progress. Let's put the coup in play. Okay, so we read that part. Jason Milton, $5 in the super chat. Jordan, what do you think about the mainstream media not calling Biden the president-elect winner after Georgia and Arizona claiming that the remaining votes are for Biden in Democratic areas?
I think they're caving to Trump. That's what I think. I think they're deathly afraid, and they're buying into this, the election's been stolen and it's a conspiracy stuff. So they are being overly cautious to the point where it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, in normal times, the election would have been called right now. Biden's up by over 20,000 votes in Pennsylvania, and the reason he's up is because for the last 2 days, the counties that the ballots are remaining to be counted are overwhelmingly for him. So by the trend of the votes from these counties going to Biden overwhelmingly, there's nothing left, there's no possibility left that Trump would start winning these counties by like 80 or 90%, which he would need. I mean, Trump would have to start like winning Philadelphia, the remaining ballots here, by like 90% to close the gap. Biden is winning Philadelphia by 80%. I failed math in 11th grade, but I'm smart enough to know like Trump is not going to reverse that. So I think they're just kind of scared because of the Republican Trump carnival barkers about the stolen election, and they don't want it. You know, they want to be super duper sure. But I also think this delay gives Trump more of a chance to cry fraud and election, fraud, conspiracy, all those things. So, but make no mistake, if and when it's called, I don't think it's going to be pretty. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be pretty. So.
I agree. Stephen D. Miles, 199 in the super chat. What up, stat? Nothing. Just going crazy from the.
Oh, another new member. Welcome to the party. Oh, did we say Keith?
Yeah.
Oh,
now 3 times.
It just updated. So we're now 13 members away. 13 members away from hitting 1,700. Can we do it? Can we do it before the president is declared? Sign up. statuscoup.com/join.
Woohoo!
For as low as a cup of for as low as a burnt cup of Starbucks a month, $5 a month.
Why does Starbucks hate?
I'm a Dunkin' guy.
I know, Dunkin'. Okay, so this is good. You guys can help support our in-field election coverage. Our GoFundMe is open 24/7.
I will drop the GoFundMe link in one more time. And by the way, as a member of the Coup community, we are less than 6,000 subscribers.
Stop! He's
Sorry.
like knocking the table over.
We are less than 6,000 subscribers from 100,000. So I still believe in word of mouth. If you got friends, if you got families, if you got animals, if you got anybody that could press that subscribe button.
We do allow dead people to join
Yes,
here.
totally. I would like them to watch, but at this point, I just want the numbers. Subscribe. Spread the coup. Tell your friends. Listen, they don't have to be like hardcore progressives. There's something for everybody here. If they can't, tell them to check it out. Subscribe. We really want to get to 100,000 before the end of the year. We're in the beginning of November, so there is a way to do it. We believe if we get to 100,000, that would help us somehow in YouTube's algorithm. They might show us a little more, maybe recommend us a little more to people. It's obviously better for us if we're at 100,000 to book bigger guests. People do want to come on shows with a big audience, to potentially get more funding. Not from Neanderthal corporate scum, but, progressive outlets. We might look to try and get grants at some point. Having a bigger audience helps. So definitely spread the coup all around if you can. And all you got to do is tell your friends and family and dogs and dead people to subscribe. So that's all I got. Let's get going so we could eat and do other things.
Stephen D. Miles, 499 in the super chat. I'll fast and stomp till y'all hit your goal. I gotcha, fam. Consider it handled. Okay.
And by the way, give a shout out to John behind the camera.
Yay,
He's
John.
been doing hard work standing there all day. But, he's been doing hard. No, he has been doing hard work.
Yeah, he is.
And he's doing a good job.
He is.
So thank you, John. And we will see you the next live stream.
Oh, another 499.
Oh, another
Stephen D.
one.
Miles. Yay. Don't waste that time with dumb shit like crypto. The MSM is milking attention for ratings. Also wear my stat merch. Well, it's at statuscoup.com/store.
Can I just say I'm a little self-conscious? I feel like I have breasts.
No, people were saying they like your shirt.
Oh, okay, because I feel like it looks like I have a B cup right now
Oh my God, Jordan.
because of the crease in my shirt.
So
I don't know if it's
uncrease
because of the
it.
way the shirt looks.
So uncrease it. Like, it's not difficult. What is wrong with you?
Just making sure.
You're so freaking weird.
Just making sure.
Insane. The statuscoup.com/join. Why wouldn't you?
Status boob.
It's a normal place where
Yes.
there are normal hosts who
Yes.
do normal things.
And by the way, also, just to add to the homework list here, make sure you join our text list. If you're not on our text message list, what are you doing? Sign up to our text. Well, it's not really sign up. Text COUP to 370-370. Text COUP. Jordan is out of control tonight. I am. Text COUP to 370-370. That way you'll get a text message when we're live. There are petite bras, Jordan. Maybe we should do like a Status Coup happy hour from now on, where we don't talk politics, no politics, and we just talk about poop, bras. So,
Status.
rock those tidbies, Jordan.
Oh.
Does Jordan have chest hair? I have about 6 chest hairs. In the sun, it looks like 7. Jordan, do you have an OnlyFans? What's that mean?
Oh my God.
What's an
It's
OnlyFans?
like you take selfies of like in nudes and you earn money.
I don't think anybody wants selfies of me nude. Nah. I'm a married man. I can't do that. And selfies, I don't know. Elizabeth Warren tainted selfies for me, personally.
Actually,
I don't think we should be doing selfies right now. Well, I could do a selfie, but selfies with other people? No. There's a pandemic.
No, you don't do OnlyFans with other people. It's just yourself.
Somebody says they have hot dogs and sauerkraut waiting for them.
Okay. TMI? No.
Drain the milk. All right. Now I'm gonna go have a liquid courage, and if you thought this live stream was crazy, give it an hour or 2. Thank you. We'll talk to you in a bit. Bye bye.
Bye.